we are a go. Okay, so the the audio video is being recorded from here on out. I'll let you guys know when that stops. So,
Butt face.
the curious thing, obviously, who wants to recall what happened last episode, given its impact?
Well, I sat in a bush the whole time. That's what I did.
You are still sitting in a bush, actually. I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Like
Oh,
character in the bush.
I've
You're
got
still
music.
Hooray!
Perfect, perfect.
I don't know why that.
I had a
Didn't come through
torch and
before,
I was
but I got
trying to
it now.
defend people, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so as a
Can you turn it down just a bit, Nick? Sorry.
the music.
Yeah, just a
So
quick
if
question
you
before we
okay,
start.
sorry.
Oh, I'll wait.
1 second. I'm going to turn the music down. You actually need to go to volume mixer and turn it down yourself, because every time a new song comes on here, it goes up to max volume. So I would have to be constantly restarting it. So I basically set it at medium, and then everyone else can set it up using the volume mixer themselves. No. So if you right-click your little sound, the little speaker option, and say open volume mixer, you can actually turn Google Chrome up and down.
yes.
Yeah, so
Cool.
So I am going to turn that up now, so if everyone wants to just adjust that to how they would like, that'd be great.
Okay, cool.
I'm personally going to turn mine down a little bit.
Yeah, so is it through the computer's volume mixer, or is there one in the actual
Of the
web?
computer's volume mixer.
Okay.
So through like the actual Windows volume mixer.
Windows volume mixer? Okay.
So yeah, what I wanted to ask is, what happens with Alex's character?
I'm going to get to that, but I do...
literally just asked that. That's the second time, Harley.
I
that
know.
You just
Sorry, I've got my
ignored
brother
me
sitting next to me
completely.
distracted me. I'm sorry.
Whoa, hold on.
Unbelievable.
Let's make sure we're not going to get another Alex incident here. Please. No, that's
no,
all
I'm
right.
talking a tantrum, Bob.
Delete it on Facebook.
Wow.
That is 100% on recording too. I love it. Okay.
Wonderful.
So, with everything going on, like obviously there's going to be things getting missed. If something's repeated, that's fine. I'll explain it again. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. But right now, I need everyone to recap what they've been told. Setting aside the Alex incident, what happened last game. Because there were some key points that I need to make sure that you're refreshed with before I move on. If that makes sense.
Hold on, you're cutting out a bit on my end.
Yeah. And
so
you're not even speaking. I don't know what's going on with your mic.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can
Really?
now.
Yeah.
So last time we ventured forth to these, where we thought these lizard people were staying after the time before that, you know, where we got the boat and we got a map, and then the city was like, hey, we want you guys to go suss it out. So we made our way through the marshland to this weird cave area. We defeated some giant lizards, and then I hid in a bush, and everyone else just about got captured. But then they all made friends, and I'm still hiding in a bush because I don't know that yet. And
We
Yeah.
don't know what they took, because they took off Bridie, Owen, and who was the third person?
It was me.
Harley, yeah.
Yeah.
so it's isn't it Sanchi, you
So-
and me that are still chilling, like not
Yes.
knowing what's happening yet?
Chilling like not the villains.
Yeah, like the non-villains that you are. And obviously Alex was one of those, but we no longer have
purposely
such a
didn't
character.
mention his name.
Yes.
So I do have some important information. So
That's good.
We. Oh, did someone just join?
Do you want to just move your microphone a little closer to your face, if you can? Yeah, just you're a little quiet.
Okay, yep. Cool.
That's perfect.
Okay,
We
so Aiden's now joined the chat, but he's muted, so he won't
Cool.
talk.
all good. We went to the three of us went to see the Queen, and the Queen, you know, was very like, oh, you know, what are you guys doing here? You killed my pets, and we were like, all right, well, you know, this is all, you know, just an accident. We came up, you know, into the wrong tunnel. It was all out of self-defense. She said, fine, you know, although I'm unhappy, you know, I'm giving you and your party 24 hours to explore the whole area, and we can go from there with all respect, and no one needs to be handcuffed anymore.
Yeah.
As long as we just
yeah,
check out the
essentially
area.
that.
So don't
like
start
you're
anything.
you're given free reign, like, because it's a city, right? So you're given free reign to move around, and basically to show your goodwill, make yourself friendly with the locals, so to speak, show your goodwill, as a almost like her way of saying, okay, I don't trust you yet, but you haven't exactly harmed anyone here apart from my pets, but you haven't actually killed any lizard folk yet. So I'll give you the
really
benefit
sorry
of the doubt.
about the pets.
Yeah, she was kind of like, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Go prove yourself that you're gonna be. You know what I mean? Like, go prove yourself a valuable ally or asset to us, and we'll consider having a friendship from here. That's kind of that's your current quest, is kind of to, as I said, meet with the locals, see if there's any things that you can help with, that sort of stuff, and going from there. Now, in the last episode, right at the very end, of course, we did have that issue that I have personally spoken to everyone about, with Alex using his character in a way that was putting the party in danger, and generally the play style that he was having being that of talking over everyone, kind of trying to like take charge rather than just letting people discuss options, that sort of stuff. Whilst that wasn't an issue and I can deal with that, the issue I did have was obviously his hissy fit, essentially causing issues with the rest of the party for no reason. Now his character did start a fight with the lizard folk scale shield, quote unquote, as a sign of respect. He was the scale shield beat him very easily, and got him down to 3 hit points. Metagaming here, but he got him down to 3 hit points, which signaled the fight was over, because it was first to get to 5 hit points, losers. He decided to attack whilst the lizard folk was running away, invoking a coward's punch response using Zephyr's strike. Obviously, a lot of people didn't like that, but overall that situation was pretty hilarious. That's where Alex came in, decided to throw his hissy fit, so to speak, but we never got to finish what happened from there. So, because everyone is here, starting off, this is present tense from here on. We're continuing on the game. It's at this point that the lizard folk actually picks up Koi and throws him against one of the dead carcasses of the lizards. From there, you kind of hear a snarl and a hiss, and some of the surrounding lizard folk immediately jump to attention, run over, and basically handcuff or tie his hands behind his back, Koi's hands behind his back. You then see the lizard folk escort him down the same chamber, passageway that both Owen, Brady, and Harley went down. I've forgotten the names of your characters because it's been a month. So, but
Zarafa, Zelda, and
Betty
sorry,
and Bruce.
Zarafa and
Braffa,
forgot
Bruce,
the
and
cats.
Betty. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. You last see them going down basically that same hallway, but they kind of get lost by the end of it with all the curvy trails. At this point, I'm just gonna quickly remove the 2 lizard folk that actually did something. There you go. At this folk, you actually you hear the shaman at the back, kind of almost like almost like an "I told you so" kind of moment, like kind of tone. Who speaks Draconic here again?
Bruce and I.
Yes.
Yeah. Both
Three of us,
Bruce and Chris Kyle. You can catch a glimpse of what he's saying to like some of the other lizard folk, and it essentially translates from Draconic into Common. We shouldn't trust these outsiders. They're clearly here to just cause trouble. However, I will get what could I get everyone to tell me what their passive is quickly? Passive perception.
It is 13.
14.
Okay,
Thirteen.
I might say actually
14.
I might do this. Yeah. Both Bruce and Chris Kyle, what's your passive? Because you're the ones that can actually actively listen
I can
to
also
the convo.
understand it.
Yeah.
Passive perception is 13, Nick.
13, 14,
Mine is-
14. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So you kind of notice from the general body language that whilst there's like a sign of respect for the shaman, it's a they don't exactly agree. That's kind of the phrase I was looking for. They don't exactly agree, or it's kind of an agree to disagree. Kind of like when your mum tries to kind of the situation where your mum tries to tell you that you're sick because you've been playing too many video games, and you're like, yeah, right, mum, whatever.
Quick question. We know the Scale Shield spoke Common. Do we know if the other ones speak Common as well?
You have heard him speak a little bit of Common, but it's kind of broken.
Okay.
It's like broken English in that sense.
Can I say something to him in Draconic?
Sure, by all means.
Hey, look, we just saw your queen, and we showed all signs of respect and no hostility at all.
Out of curiosity, are you saying this from afar, or have you actually walked up slowly to kind of introduce yourself into the conversation?
Oh, right, yeah, sorry. I just assumed because we're all standing in a circle here,
Yeah.
we're all just...
You're kind
Yeah.
of a little bit further away.
Oh, right, okay.
This
I'll
is
just-
like a 5-meter circle.
Right.
So,
Um,
that's it. The shaman is this one. Sorry.
Oh, right. Okay,
The
sorry.
one with the red behind it.
I'm just saying, I'm here. I'm like, hey, look, hey, my name's Bruce. Please don't let what just happened, what just transpired here, be a reflection of our party. We mean no harm. I've just spoken with your queen, and she's just allowed access of your city. But please, we don't mean to be defensive or hostile at all.
You kind of hear like a hiss of disgust in a way, but you know that the disgust isn't aimed at you, if that makes sense. It's
Yeah.
kind of like they, the shaman is upset in some way because of particular decisions made within the colony, but not directly because of you, kind of thing.
Right.
You kind of speak good Draconic.
Was that in Common or Draconic?
Draconic. Sorry, I should specify. In Draconic, you hear him. You're holding a wholly Draconic conversation at this point.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. You speak good Common, yes?
Yes,
And-
that's right.
Draconic is okay. I tell you what, I cannot disobey my queen, but you step on the wrong side of me again, and you will know about it.
Of course.
He kind of howls in a way, almost like a hoorah. The lizard folk around him kind of assemble back in and stand at attention, and begin to escort themselves down to the southern part of the corridor.
Can I be like, wait up a moment. Look, now this foolishness is over. How about a round of drinks? Trying to get their attention and trying to make up for Koi's disruption.
I translate for her.
The
I translate into Draconic for her.
the shaman kind of like puts his head over his shoulder, thinks of like nothing about it, and continues on with the rest of the soldiers. However, the scale shield actually turns around, walks up, and in common, in very broken common, I'll add. Whereabouts is your character again? That's this one.
She's just below me.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm the one with a little light symbol on it.
Just
The little
gonna
person.
remove
That's the one.
There. He actually kind of approaches you, and we don't have a tavern here, but we do have a hall. Follow me.
A hole?
Hold up, what did he say?
A whole lot of
Has
shit.
different connotations.
Just
whilst
low-key
whilst
sweating
it's lost
bullets.
in whilst it's lost in translation, you can tell that he meant like hall, Hall, not hole.
Okay.
But obviously the accent doesn't help.
Very, very broken common. Got it.
Very, very broken comment. He kind of gestures towards the same corridor. Give me 1 second. I've just got to find the actual location. All my notes have gone missing.
Hey, Tomora, what languages do you speak?
I think it's just Dwarven. Let me have a. Yeah, just Dwarvish and common.
Okay, I say to you in Dwarvish, good idea getting them drinking might actually get us some questions answered and build some trust.
I find there's two ways to really make a friend here. You can trade with a good bargain, or you can drink your sorrows away. What do you all think about that?
Did you say that in common or draconic? Or
I say that's
Dwarvish?
common to everyone, sort of thing. Opening the.
At the
Sorry,
sound of
I've been listening, but I just realized that am I still hiding in a bush, or have I come out?
You've
like,
100% still in a bush.
Yeah, your character's still got
Your character is still hiding. They don't even know you are here at this point.
I was just listening, and then I was like, wait a second. So what would I have just heard that would make me stay in a bush?
I don't think you would. I think you realise that we've been given permission to.
Kind
Wait,
of
we haven't
walk-
said that to you, have we?
That's what I'm thinking. I don't think you guys have said anything to me, so that's why I was just asking, because I'm like
All right.
trying to recap the last 5 minutes. I'm going, is there any reason why I would come out of my bush, or am I still just gonna be?
FBI,
Well,
open up. I love it.
Would you look at your character's seen everyone calm down and Timora off the drink? Would that get you out of the bush?
I think it would. Yeah.
mind you, he's right in front of you, so
Yeah.
maybe
Sorry.
worth announcing
Wait for him to
yourself.
take a step away before you step out.
Yeah, because here, thick boy.
What you
the
like?
point, none
I'm
of our
not telling you what you should do, but you should totally pretend that you were actually taking a nap this entire time, and just be like, oh,
Point is, like, I don't think any of our characters actually know you're in that bush either.
Sanchi would, but I think Sanchi's character.
Yeah.
Sanchez
Kyle's probably
knew,
too
yeah.
drunk to say anything.
Because I sacrificed myself so that you wouldn't get caught. I think, no, hold on, you pushed me out of the
She
bush.
pushed you out of the bush.
I tried to, and then
And I fell flat on my backside.
What are you gonna do about that, Sanchez?
At the
You know what?
sound of Timora mentioning drinks, I was already jumping at the bit.
Yeah.
So I've completely ignored our little bush dweller, and I'm eager to go to this hole.
Zelda is just going to be known as the bush dwarf from now on.
100% bush bandit. Bush bandit.
In common, you again hear the scale shield kind of ask. So, you want big hole locals? They very scared of newcomers, or somewhere more private.
Oh, big hall. They won't be scared once we're drunk.
We want to show we mean no harm. How's that head of you just treating you? Talking about big holes and how their head is. Oh god.
He'll pay. Trust me.
Perhaps I can heal it for you. Can I use a few points of lay on hands to
Absolutely.
heal his wounds?
Yeah.
How many points did he lose?
think
Just tell me how many points he heals.
Okay. Well, I've got 15. So I'll heal 3 to 5, depending on how much damage he took.
I think he took 8 from the Zephyr Strike and like 2 from the other attacks.
Yeah, you're correct. I think he lost a total of 11.
Okay. Well, I'll heal 6 of that then, just so he's kind of up to normal spirits.
Yeah. As you kind of lay on the hands onto the back of his head, you actually see where like a little bit of a split and some blood was. That all just basically heals back up and stitches itself, and the blood just, like that was slowly dripping out stops. And you kind of like wipe off the rest with a your hands kind of thing. Thank you.
It's the least we could do.
Please, thank you.
Yeah,
God, I hear those conversations all too often at work.
Much, thank you. I forgot to remove those. At this point, obviously, the lizard folk and the shaman are gone. However, the scale shield kind of ushers you, like, come on, let's go, and shows you kind of towards the southern hall area. Give me a sec. I'm just double checking.
So what did y'all, I say in Dwarvish, so what did y'all learn while you were up there?
The Queen has a lot of guards. I also reply in Dwarvish. The Queen has a lot of guards and a very, very, very big, like, super-sized lizard that was similar to the ones that were attacking us, but much bigger, much nastier. We would have been
Okay.
creamed if we had a fort.
Do you think they're preparing for war against our folk friends to the south?
Don't know yet. Gonna have to see how many troops they've got before we can make
How
that
long
assumption.
do we have?
A day.
A day. Oh. Some of us need to sleep, you know.
Well, lightweights.
Sorry, Zelda, do you actually hop out?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
Straight answer.
I don't know either.
Hey, has anyone seen Zelda?
Yeah, like someone needs to just turn around and just be like, "Hey, Zelda, where did you go?" Or
Yeah,
like,
I turn around and just shout out,
"Otherwise, I just don't know. what to
Wherever
do."
Zelda is hiding, because I know you're very, very sneaky. Just come with us. There's no danger anymore.
I'll buy you a drink for it.
All right, I jump out of the bush.
The lizard folk is kind of startled. Whoa, what the where you come
mind
from? Eh?
She's near invisible when she wants to be.
Come on, then.
All right, I come for a drink.
Oh. All right.
I mean, I'll do
We
more than that
all
for a
almost
drink.
forgot you again.
So
You were that good at being invisible.
I'm gonna start calling you Kevin.
Kevin. The lizard folk trails are considerably like a little bit ahead, probably by about 3 meters. Just kind of keeping
I
his
specifically
distance.
try to
Doesn't
look through
exactly
any
fully
doorway we
trust him.
passed.
What's that?
I specifically try to look through any doorway we pass and see what information I can gather.
Yeah. As we pass the door, like, can I just be like, "What's in there?
The
Hey, what's that?"
Yeah, by all means. As you pass the doorway on your left, you hear a lot of like metal on metal sounds. From the rhythm of the sound that's coming from the other side, you imagine that it's probably sharpening of some form of blade. Which blade you don't know, obviously. And you can also hear little bits of chatter kind of like a sound off, but more in the sense of yelps rather than like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like different kinds of yelps, if that makes sense.
So that's the sex dungeon.
Who here's got the best memory? Was this something we might have known by now? Would that be you, Harley?
That would be me because history is an intelligence roll.
Okay, I'm just thinking if we can keep track of what we see, how many people we see, how much security they have, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I just watched Baby Driver the other day, so the nephew in that, where he's counting all the
Time
cameras.
to be autistic.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my line.
All right. So yeah, take note. That's the room to the left. Just here. I'll draw a little red thing here. There you go.
That's all the yelps and the screams that are coming out of there.
Yeah, not so much screams, just like loud yelps or. I was actually gonna say, Drakden, you understand Common, Draconic, don't you?
Yes.
Duh. You actually recognize it to be like numbers. It's a draconic form of numbers.
Me.
Oh, there's a cheerleader squad in there. They're practicing with pom-poms.
So, would we be able to see in there?
No, there's a door.
No, there's a door blocking at the moment. You'd have to actually open up. Obviously, I did hear someone ask, ask the lizard folk. I can't remember who it was. What's in there. Do you know who that was? I think that might have been Owen.
That was Owen.
Yeah.
Yes, I asked. Yeah.
As you ask that, the scale shield kind of jokingly looks around and kind of stares you down for a little bit. If I tell you, you die.
Good to know.
But your queen said we could go anywhere we wanted for 24 hours.
You
Didn't say anywhere we wanted. She said we have free
you
passage.
see like a slight smirk on his face. Like a he's kind of like leaning over it, but you just see like the corner of his mouth is just pinched up a little bit, more than they normally would be.
Sorry, I misinterpreted what 24 hours access meant.
Yeah, it would
24
basically
hours.
mean we're allowed everywhere that's common areas, not
Right.
restricted access.
Okay, cool. I thought it was just like a free-for-all to go everywhere you want.
That would be amazing.
I'll be honest, that's how I interpret it as well.
We killed your pets. You killed our pets, so we can go wherever you want and look at everything.
That's what I thought.
I mean, that
so it's
works
like-
for me.
Apparently, if you get a...
passing, what do I see down there? See or hear?
To the right,
Yes.
it's actually just another hallway, but you see like some faint bits of light, but nothing major, if that makes sense. Nothing to indicate what's actually down there. It's just
What about
another
this one?
hallway. That's a good question. Give me a sec. Again, same
Hey.
thing. Yep. What's up, Bunny?
Oh, this is totally random, but on the screen down the bottom, some people have changed their picture. How do you do that?
It's through the actual Roll20 website.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
through your profile settings.
Also, you can remove the pictures in the settings tab. I find that the pictures take up too much space, so I personally don't have them on.
Cool, thank you.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, you mean our little icons? Yeah, no, I removed the pictures. I just have names only.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
'Cause they're just too big.
Yeah. There's nothing really of interest down there. It's the one on the bottom. Interestingly enough, diverges into. You can see a split, so it looks like it goes into two different directions. The lizard folk obviously continues to usher you along.
I ask him. I say, sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Give me a sec. I had it written down somewhere. I gotta open up the file. I should have had this open, but
He just has like a tag.
I
on
am
behind my
Fat
name.
Green. No, I'm kidding. My name is Green Fats.
Yeah, mum.
Your mum. Your mum. Where am I?
I actually had nearly ordered a burger at the airport on Tuesday night with that name.
Your
Your
mum.
mum.
Your mum burger. Yeah.
Love it.
You're gonna
Love
say
it.
it really quickly though. Can I just have your mum?
I'm gonna find it online now. I'll send it in the chat.
Which one do you
Order for
recommend?
your mama?
Your mum.
Wait, is that from Z Pickle?
Yes.
It is good burger too. I had that.
Uh-huh.
He kind of looks around, and in a very, very heavily draconic accent, you hear him say, Melik. Melik is my name.
Was that
Mel. I'm just gonna call you Mel. Mel Gibson.
Like,
How do you spell it?
you don't know because you've never seen it in writing.
Ah, I'm draconic though.
Yeah. You hear it, but you don't know how to spell it.
Oh,
makes
what was it again? Sorry.
Merrick.
Merrick.
So take from that what you will. He's obviously not gonna just be like, oh, here, I'll write down my name on a piece of paper for you. There you go, Owen. So,
That might make him angry in case he can't actually spell it. Like we don't know
He doesn't know how to
tell which
write.
of an an-
He
yeah,
may be
maybe-
illiterate.
Yeah,
Have some
we don't
respect,
know.
Owen.
MERI. Is that a C or a K?
Phlegm.
Haven't you ever learned Dutch?
So, Marik, what do you like to do for fun other than training around here?
I only train and hunt.
Oh, we've got a few hunters here. What kind of things do you hunt in these swamps?
Mainly bullywug.
Bullywug to
The
say.
but the word bullywug is sorry, I should say is in Draconic. It's not
Oh.
in Common. So you hear some form of like, you know what I mean, like a foreign name, like a word that you can't quite understand.
What? I'm sorry. What did he say?
I translate for him.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to
Ah,
translate?
right.
Bug,
there could be some-
bug-like creature, kind of slimy
They can
thing.
be pretty fierce, right?
Yeah, it's got big teeth.
Hmm.
It's at this point as you're walking down the hallway, you smell a very nice aroma of what you presume to be something cooking. It's a very foreign, meaty smell, but you can't put your finger on what it is. You probably have never tried it.
Is it like a hungry smell, or is it like a rancid meat cooking smell?
It's like a strong scent of cooking meat, but it's kind of got this acidic tang that passes through your nostrils. You can also hear like muffled chattering and clanking come from down the hallway towards your left.
Nick,
Yep.
as we're walking down the hallway, can I do some kind of check? I don't think Zelda is going to steal anything and put the party in jeopardy, but I think as a thief, she is always just...
She's gonna eye everything.
Yeah, I would know of all
out
the
of curiosity, your character is a swashbuckler from memory.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
only
it
level
is.
3 though.
Yeah. So
You're a rogue, not a thief. You're a
you're a
swashbuckler,
rogue,
so
not a
you're
thief.
all about
yeah.
the fights.
So you're good at
Yeah,
hiding.
but I'm also pirate. I'm gonna steal stuff from time to time.
Yeah,
True.
I would
She
say
accuses
I
mother.
would say your specialty would be more along the lines of plundering in that sense, like ransacking smaller ships for gold. Not so much stealing things that are out in the open, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That said, she would still eye everything.
She would still
you know,
eye
things of
things
value.
off by all means. Right now, all the doorways are closed.
Okay.
So
There's nothing
it's
in
kind
the
of just
walls,
it's
no
just
statues
kind
or
of
anything?
like a rocky, mountainous, earthy tunnel, if that makes sense.
Fair enough, thank you.
No worries.
Just Just like,
We keep walking
if
into
I
rock
was
walls.
gonna steal something.
Just gonna reveal.
Shifty eyes, looking real guilty over there, miss.
I wanna
The
press-
hallway
can
to
I- Can I
your.
hang back and just like press all the stones and see if I can find any secret passageway?
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of look. I'm gonna say Timora actually looks behind her because all she can hear is this patting noise. And essentially from behind you just see you just like almost like a insane person just patting all the walls and kind of like mumbling to herself like, where is it somewhere here. It's gotta be something.
That's
I know
excellent.
It's at
yeah.
it's at this point you notice you've been spotted, Bonnie. And you kind of like still, I imagine your character would kind of like freeze and spot a little bit and be like, never mind, just act normal.
I just
And then
look
when he
back and
turns
smirk
around,
at-
just every couple of meters, I just press a rock.
Yeah,
Just like-
yeah. When no
Just like-
one's looking, when no one's looking, and like you expect no one to be watching, you just kind of like, nothing there. Okay. Yeah, you pretty much do that for the rest of the hallway.
Yeah.
You do come to a interesting big set of doors to your right. The scale shield kind of over this way. The scale shield almost nods in like a sign of respect towards the door, but then continues on.
In
Sorry,
an
what
actual
was the door?
sign of respect, or
Yeah, not an Alex's sign of respect.
okay, just clarifying.
So that's an important place or a holy place, from what I take it.
Okay, so they're
yeah.
gonna have valuables in there. That's good to know.
it's like your thing is
The
like
rapper specifically turns around
Did I
and gives
say
you an
that out
eye.
loud?
You said that out loud.
I didn't
This-
say that.
oh shit, whoops, I accidentally
You just deleted something.
I know I accidentally deleted.
Chris Carl just vanished from existence for a second.
Yeah. Actually happens in real life.
Fuck, I thought I was the only one with Misty Step.
Damn it. You kind of continue on, and it's at this point you have one last door to your left before you recognize the doors ahead of you to be the one of the Queen's chamber. Here the
I do specifically point that out to the other guys. I'm like, that door leads to the Queen's chamber. I would recommend not going in there.
Good to know. Thanks for that, friend.
I'm just gonna I
Drunkenly
these
stumble
characters
past
by
it.
accident. Just
Our
gotta
characters disappear. Where'd they go?
just gotta put them back.
How did you shrink them?
I got like a little tab there that I can use to shrink things. There we go. Okay. He kind of again acknowledges the door ahead, immediately turns left, and begins to open up the door.
Oh, you have really cool sound effects on your doors. I say that in
Wow, you got really cool sound effects on your doors. I love that.
I'm just thinking of the negotiation scene in the first episode. That was.
So as he opens up the door, the first thing you notice is 5 unarmed lizard folk that are preparing this area for a feast. They're kind of setting up tables with wood and stone utensils. Several long wooden tables are kind of placed end to end, and in the center of the hall, with wooden benches running along each side, it kind of all connects up. Obviously, as the image shows. At the south end of the table is a set of large wooden chairs, 4 slightly smaller chairs that kind of flank it, 2 on each side facing the table. Again, kind of indicated by the this here on the image. Placed on the tables are a lot of earthenware pots, jars, plates, cups. A lot of pottery, not so much fine dining like you're used to at Saltmarsh. There's 5 drinking mugs and woven baskets, and against the west and east walls are tall wooden cupboards that kind of line them, that have various, again, pottery and utensils and stuff, kind of like a kitchen cupboard in that sense. The same kinds of things you would expect in a kitchen cupboard. He he stands at the door and kind of like opens it up and like lets you in, kind of staring you down, each of you down, almost doing a head count as he's watching to make sure that he hasn't lost anyone.
Or a certain sneaky bush dweller has disappeared.
I certainly tried.
Interestingly enough, as soon as you actually enter, a lot of the commoners kind of, the unarmed lizard folk kind of go wide-eyed, kind of look at each other in this almost slightly awkward manner.
I shout, "Don't worry, we're here to get drunk."
Oh there, stay for a drink.
I say that in Draconic, by the way.
Oh.
Don't worry, we're here to get drunk.
I'm already drunk.
Crisco.
The scale shield, in common, so that everyone can understand. We no have pub or place to drink. However, tonight we have feast for the queen. You are more than welcome. Behave yourselves, though. Our kind does not take kindly to strangers.
You want to try that one again?
Try what?
Never mind.
You can tell he's struggling with, like, you know what I mean, common?
Yes.
A very small vocabulary, so he's kind of trying to...
We humbly accept your gracious offer. I say, curtsying as deep as I can.
In plate mail.
In plate mail, yeah, which looks hilarious.
Clunk, clunk, clunk.
He actually ushers you towards the end of the table. Kind of. If that makes sense.
I do say to him, if you want to speak in Draconic, I can translate it for the group. If you're struggling with common.
Do you say that in Draconic?
Yeah, I say that in Draconic.
I thought my common sounded good.
It does sound good. It just looks like you're struggling a bit.
I no struggle. Me tough.
Gotcha. You're doing great, buddy.
I look over at Zarafa and
Thank
just
you.
like put like my hand down as if being like, turn it down. He's okay. Don't kick the bee's nest. Have you
To be
seen
fair,
like
in Chris
Dorado?
Cole's view, anyone that's giving him beer is okay.
Just like the blonde guy from El Dorado.
I haven't watched that movie in ages.
Oh damn! But like that kind of a facial expression, just like.
So Nick, so we've got the seating area up the middle, and we've got, what are those stone slabs on either side?
They're the
Basically.
cupboards. They're the cupboards. Yeah, I did describe
And then
that a
there's
little
door at
earlier,
the
but
top.
there's a door at the top. There's the cupboards, and then there's several wooden tables that have been pushed together to form like a long banquet table.
No, yeah, sorry, I see it. I just wanted to confirm what they were because
Yeah,
I'm assuming the other door must lead to a kitchen.
Out
Yeah,
of curiosity
I'm
as
just trying to suss out
well.
my surroundings.
Yeah, what are the plates and like the cutlery made of? Out of curiosity, is it like stone or is it metal?
so I did say that a little earlier. The
Sorry, Nick.
No, you're right. The cutlery
earthenware, right?
so the cutlery is made of stone and wood. So the
Cool.
utensils, so like wooden handles, but stone. You know what I mean? Like actual.
Yep.
Yeah. Pointy bits. And
Thank
the pots and pans and plates are all pottery. very plain, just earthenware, if that makes sense. Yeah. So it's a very
Basically.
earthy environment. Like everything's made out of natural materials. Even the cupboards are made of like stone. They're kind of the shelves on either side are made of like stone.
We're underneath a mountain. That you
Yeah.
work with what you got.
Yeah.
All right, I wanna
Exactly right.
One of whichever one it is that's speaking common.
Yeah. That's the scale shield.
It's this guy.
Merrick.
That guy.
Yep. And I'm gonna just try and strike up a conversation, and I'll just go. So, what do you guys like to do around here for fun?
I will. Great. I'll get back to you on that. I presume everyone has started to sit around the table, obviously. Because from here, I'm just gonna let you control your own characters, and you can tell me where you're sitting. He did usher you towards the top.
Top end.
I'm
The
guessing
top
the head
end?
of the table's at the bottom of the screen, where the queen will probably sit.
Yeah, that.
So
that
the
looks
bottom
like
of the screen is the head of the table. Yes. So you're at the
They
bottom
look
of
like
the
seats,
table.
not pews, so they're definitely for someone higher up.
So obviously you guys can sit as as you would like.
Who just sat in the throne?
All right. Do we? I thought we had a sixth player. Hold on. I'm only counting 5.
No, there's 6 there.
1, 2. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no.
6.
I know. I'm just being dumb. I didn't see this one because there's a name that's hiding it. Because there's actual names for me underneath what everything is. Because otherwise it'd all get confusing.
Alright, I just need to figure out whose characters are whose. So,
We have.
this is me. Oh, I can't ping.
There you go. That's you.
That's me.
This
Who's
is.
above me?
That's
I'm
Timora.
above you.
Dimora.
Then we have Bonnie, which is this one.
Yeah.
Chris Kyle, which is the ranger elf. And then
Yep.
Bruce and Betty.
Okay. So now I know who everyone is.
Yeah.
I was just struggling to figure out who a couple
No,
of
that's
people
alright.
were.
Out of curiosity, is Bridie still with us? I just haven't heard anything from
Yeah.
her. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she's just got a quiet mic.
You're just quiet. Okay, cool. Alright. Obviously you take your seats, and then as everyone's sitting down, you kind of like twiddle your thumbs for a few seconds, and that's where you strike up a conversation, Bunny.
Yeah.
He kind of like looks past Chris Kyle to kind of talk to you. Few things. We need some
Brady,
water.
do you speak Draconic?
No, I don't.
No. What language do you speak?
Common, Abyssal, and Elvish.
Okay, cool.
Not much time for fun round here anymore. I used
How
to
come?
play a lot of sports, but now I must just train and prepare.
Prepare for what?
I suppose the Queen has not told you yet, then.
Of course she's told us. She's told us everything. What were you gonna say again?
I'm gonna get you to make a deception, but that's fucking brilliant. I love it.
Where are we?
Of course, he has a -2 on fucking.
Wait, did that show up in chat? Because I didn't see it. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Holy
Whoa.
shit!
natural.
Whoa! Yeah, right.
No, you're going with the first.
Oh.
No, you're going with the first one. It double rolled for some reason. So
okay.
I'll
Sorry about that.
always, where it's double rolled, I'll always take the top value because that's the first roll.
That's a 19. Well done, mate.
Look into my eyes, Jungle
No,
Book.
it says plus, not minus.
Yeah, it's +1.
It is +1.
No,
yeah.
no,
Oh,
the
okay.
lizard
Nice.
folk is a -2 on charisma. That's why I was
Oh,
like, of
so he's not
course,
making any of this.
of course. There ain't no way. He's making that.
So he literally can't make a 20. So yeah, you auto succeed.
You auto succeed, yeah, no matter what. That's metaing, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose she would have told you. that we were driven from home not long ago.
You've made yourselves quite a home here. How long did that take you to relocate?
With those who survived, many months.
How big was your clan beforehand, if you don't mind me asking?
Easily thousands.
Aye, that's a lot of people to miss. I
So,
feel sorry for you.
who drove you out of your home?
The dirty, dirty sanguine.
Do we know what sanguine are?
Yeah, does my character know what that means?
The word is specifically in Draconic, but I'll get you to roll a history check.
Okay.
So I wouldn't hear it.
You would hear it, but you wouldn't understand it. Only those
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Draconic
sorry.
would
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of understand.
gotcha.
Oh wow,
But
that's a really
if
bad
you
roll
want
for
to
me.
know, by all means, if you want to know, Bonnie, all you have to do is ask. So, ask in character, of course. Hey, what does this
Yeah.
mean? And then Harley or whoever. All right, what did you roll?
So I drew a blank.
Ooh. The name
so
is
I
familiar.
Ask in character. I ask in character. I go, what was the name?
Wait. That's not right. Oh, did I roll a 1? Oh, I wrote
rolled
a
a
natural
natural
1.
A
Yeah.
natural one.
Oh, damn.
Out of
So
curiosity,
I
who are
asked
you
what-
asking?
Who are the people that I know speak Draconic?
Myself.
Oh, right.
Hello.
Yeah. So you'd basically be asking Bruce, Zaratha, or
Yeah, I just make eye contact at all of them across the table. Like, what was
Yeah,
that
like,
word?
what was that?
I'm sorry, friend, but I'm not 100% familiar what sanguine are. Drawing a blank here.
Who?
Okay, so I've heard the word.
I
sanguine.
direct that to the lizard shields. Scout.
The scale shield.
So can
I'll
I? Do I know what a sanguine is then? Can I roll?
You
for
can
something
roll a
like
history, yeah.
How do I do that again?
So if you
Go
just
to your skills, click on the skill, and then beyond 20, link.
there's like a little D20.
Oh, I'm just as bad. Wow.
Oh wow, 2 natural ones. Damn.
So red in the chat means it's a natural 1, which sucks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're all drawing
you
blanks on this one.
Like you don't even know what he's talking about. You know how like
Okay, so I turn to him then and I say, could you describe him for me? Sorry, could you describe him for me?
you have not encountered sanguine?
I don't believe so.
Probably not by that name.
I will show you after we finish our drinks. At this point, one of the commoners has actually kind of without you being aware, because you're engaged in conversation, started to pour drinks and put them on the table.
Great, and maybe after that we could all go out and play some sport and have some fun. And then I take a big swig of my drink.
Did you pregame this?
Can I sniff the drink to see what it is?
Yeah, you sniff it, and you can tell it's fermented, but the base fruit that it was taken from is unknown to you. It's very, the best word I can come up with is it's very, oh shut up, swampy. Like it smells swampy in a way.
Like
in
a
terms of-
durian sort of thing, or
kind of like a durian kind of thing, where like it's a really weird smell, but you know what I mean? Like it's kind of a sweet smell, but it's got that tang that overpowers, that kind of makes you makes you kind of second guess drinking it.
I hesitantly take a sip. And look around to see how everyone else goes with their drinks.
You know when you first try wine, and
Yep.
it doesn't taste that great, and you kind of go, oh, what is that? Same thing. You know what I mean? Like initially, you could tell that it would be something that you could acquire over time, but it's not to your taste. However, it's very potent. You like almost instantly feel a little dizzy from it, but not like, you know what I mean. Like, but you quickly recover.
Seeing Timora's reaction to it, I'm just like, oh, balls.
Yeah.
Begs the question: how large are our glasses? Out of curiosity.
Typical wine glass size, but it's in a like rock cup, like a cup that's been carved out of stone.
Because at this point, I've already slammed my glass back onto the table, and I lean over to Merrick and go, "Not bad, not the worst I've had, but not bad."
Seeing
You
this, I
finish
order another round.
already. What's
Oh,
that?
he's an accomplished drunk.
I then lean back, lean against his like what's it called, like chain body, what do we call it,
Yeah.
scale body.
He actually has that
Yeah.
off at the moment from the fight.
Oh, right, he
He's
took it off for the fight.
Oh, that's from the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe
Yeah,
I don't do that. He might not like that. So I'm gonna just sort of
You
lean
slowly
in,
caress his chest and his pecs while you're at the table.
just
Roll seduction
you know
check.
how you would like throw your arm around a buddy.
Yeah.
Sort of like that, but then immediately realize that he has his scale shield off and like slowly try and pull away from it.
You're just kind of like, I don't know you're good enough for that. You
Yeah,
kind of
not yet.
hear like
You're
a
not
like
nearly
a
drunk enough for that.
you see his eyes squint like judgmentally at you, and he's kind of like uncomfortable. But as soon as you take away your arm, he's kind of like, yeah, okay, all right, keep it. That way. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
oh, I'm willing to
Sorry,
let that
I had
pass.
to zone out for a second. Did you just try and hit on the dude?
No,
Unintentionally.
I was impressed with the beverage and saying it's not not the worst beverage that I've ever had. But as I said, that I accidentally threw my arm over his shoulder and then realized he was shirtless and
Oh,
then pulled
okay.
backwards.
Yeah.
Because
He kind of like, after squinting at you, is like, gives you a look of slight confusion. I don't know what you mean by that. Not good, not bad. What's that mean?
It means he's drank horse piss at some point.
have not.
You sure about that?
You like
I look
like
over to
side eyes. No.
Nuh-uh.
No,
I
no, that
essentially
was
look over and just
you.
I then try and mimic Merrick's like squint and stare at Zarafa a little bit.
All right. Can someone give me some social context in the world that we are in D&D? How,
No.
I guess like there's lots of like humanoid races, right? Like if as a human I was to hit on an elf or hit a, I don't know, a Triton or whatever, that would be normally quite chill. What are these lizard folk? Are they kind of in the same
so it would
spectrum?
be-
Or if I
it'd
went
be
and hit on
very-
one, would that be weird?
It'd be very weird to even hit on a Triton. Anything that
Would it?
isn't
Okay.
anything that isn't humanoid, like you know, human. It's not the worst thing, but it's a little uncommon for dwarves
It's a
to match
taboo,
up.
but not a massive taboo.
Yeah, not even a taboo, just one of those things where people are like slightly uncomfortable by the thought, because how would that work?
Yeah, that's
know what I mean?
why. Yeah.
Like
Unspoken.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that unspoken kind of.
Like a
How-
dwarf
so-
dating a Goliath.
Yeah, you're
I'm
like,
gonna
so.
try and seduce one. To see if I can
Does
get
it
some
hurt?
information about- Yeah, but I'm not sure if it would work out. So I
But
might,
my
I might
body.
not hit on one instead and just keep to myself.
Yeah. One of
See,
those
we don't
things
have
where.
a bard here, because they'd definitely be down for the hitting.
Oh. They'd absolutely be like, a challenger
Maybe I'll wait till
approaches.
later in the night, and
Is
then
it-
I'll go. For
You definitely, your character definitely hasn't had enough to drink to consider. The only potential I'm not gonna lie, the only potential you see at this table right now is probably Chris Kyle, because Bruce and Betty are a thing. And like,
what I meant by seduce one is that I'm not actually interested in them. I was just going to see if I could.
yeah, I know what you mean.
Manipulate them.
Charm the
Get
peace of
one
one.
of them to maybe take me somewhere quiet, and that ends up being a sneaky room that I shouldn't be in or something. But
Yeah.
if it's a bit too weird to do in the social context, I probably wouldn't do it then.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
is it?
it would be a little weird in the social context. You'd get a few
Alright.
furrowed brows, to say the least, from everyone else.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna do it then.
That's
Thank
alright. As I was saying though, because you're kind of like, oh, I wonder if I could do that. You know what I mean? Your mind naturally deviates, and you realize that, well, realistically, the only males here is Zaratha, who is a ghost person. You don't even know his gender. And then the other bloke is married, so you got Chris Carl, who's a drunk, and you're like, I'ma just leave it to myself.
Oh, leave the mighty Timora out of it. I see how.
I mean, if she swings that way, I suppose I'd chip
I
it.
guess I'll just me, myself, and I tonight, if you know what I mean.
Hitachi for the 7th time, taking your best friend Hitachi to the, back to bed. What's that meme I sent to you, Alex, in the group
Yeah.
chat? Me for the 7th time today.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
Sorry.
I just want to ask. I want to ask Merrick if it's true that, like, this is now in character. It's like, in Draconic, because I only want Bruce and Zaratha to hear it. Is it true that your tails grow back? Out of curiosity.
Our primitive ancestors, yes. Us, tails much meatier. And he kind of like whips it over, and it's like a crocodile tail.
Ah, okay.
Like he's like, he kind of resembles the scale shield, like in particular, is beefy enough. Has like that same muscle structure as a crocodile, but with kind of the face of a lizard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you would imagine
Like an Egyptian god type thing.
Yeah. Kind of like this. You can tell that it's mixed genes that's assembled this race. So it's not directly lizard, it's not directly crocodile, it's not directly human. It's kind of a mixture of all three. And like the distinctive features between them is just, you know what I mean? Like how close they are to one particular side compared to the other they are. You know what I mean? Which one was the more dominant gene? Probably the crocodile, and so therefore more crocodile features are arisen on this particular person, but on others more lizard-like features are on like the commoners, so to speak.
Exactly right.
So
Cool.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, I've seen the Queen. What does she more look like? A lizard or a croc?
That's a very good question. She's kind of like the scale shield and kind of like the render that you saw, that big lizard thing. If I could put it into words, the Queen from Alien?
Yes.
Like she is essentially the Queen from Alien, but in a lizard folk context. If that makes sense. Just bigger, more pronounced features. Obviously, she's female, which you've noticed there isn't a lot of females around. So, like, you know what I mean? There's slightly brighter colors and more fluorescent colors in a way throughout her scales. If that makes sense. Kind of like I would almost say kind of like a queen ant as well. Like you know how you can specifically tell a queen ant apart from the normal,
if you know what you're looking for, yes.
If you know what you're looking for. At face value, you know what I mean? They all look the same, but, when you actually dig into those particular features, you can see those differences.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully that provides some insight. The lizard folk he's been sipping on his drink and kind of watching around and just general conversation stuff. He kind of sips on his drink a little bit. The commoners around you, whilst they were very skittish at first, they're kind of slowly warming up, slowly getting a little bit closer, and then backing away, slowly coming a bit closer and backing away, just with their various activities. Like filling up your drinks was that was their big step of, okay, I'm actually in your presence now, and then they just filled up your drinks and kind of went away. But now they're a little bit more confident that you're friendly, especially with the scale. You can tell that he's they've kind of, you know, sussed it out with the scale shield, you know, those glares you give to your friends, like, hey, is this guy cool? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, same kind of deal.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
In my D&D Beyond, I have an item requiring attunement
Yes.
called the Bracer of Flying Daggers.
Yes.
I was not aware of that. Is that something I'm supposed to do something about?
So, last episode I did mention that in your boat, the boat that you commandeered from the smugglers, that you found a stash of weapons. Inside one of the barrels of those weapons, you found some magical items, and those are the magical items.
Did you put that in my other possessions, Nick?
What's that?
Sorry. I have a volume of a specific type of poetry that is fully illustrated in my other possessions, and I don't think I put that there.
Yeah, I put that there. That's
Nick
you.
definitely put that there.
I listened back to all of the recordings, and I remember you specifically picked up one of those books, so I put it in your possession. And it's basically like it's like a porno poetry, and they're like it's fully illustrated.
I was like, wait a second, what?
And you're like, I might need this for later. What? Puts it in
When I
back.
said
I don't know.
an eye later, I was kidding, clearly.
Purely for science. 100% for science.
Yeah.
Is it of lizard folk or?
No, it's you know, humans and such. Some elves, you know what I mean? Like some elvish, a little bit of interracial.
Okay.
In that sense.
Sorry. All right. I'm sorry that was a sidetrack, but
No, that's all right. So yeah, double check what you have in there. So attunement, you basically have to spend 10 minutes with the item, and then it kind of, the magic is attuned to you, or it kind of like, you start to take possession of the magic, and you learn the way that the actual magic item works. You can only have three attunement slots. So if you have, say, 4 attunement items, you can only have 3 of them at a time.
All right. So later on, before we go to bed, I'll try and remind you, but I'd like to spend 10 minutes doing that.
I was gonna say, you by all means, you will have already done that.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Because you gained the weapon in the last chapter, and you had downtime since.
Yeah, so I would have done it. Yeah.
So you would have done it.
We gained it after we took the boat.
Yes.
Initially.
Yeah.
So eventually you would have put it on and just started tuning to it.
Yeah, and
Excellent.
testing it.
Thank
And
you.
basically, I believe that dagger set lets you. Actually, could you just post it in the chat? If you click on the item and then there's like a VVT part on the item, it'll actually post what the item is in the chat.
Yeah, display in BBT.
That's it. Yeah.
No, but it did plot the roll beyond 20 thing on the side, but that.
Hold up.
If you click
There you
on
go,
the
there you go.
item itself,
Bracer of flying daggers. There you go.
Yeah.
So this armband appears to have thin daggers strapped to it. As an action, you can pull up to 2 magic daggers from the bracer and immediately hurl them, making a ranged attack for each dagger. Dagger vanishes if you don't hurl it right away, and the daggers disappear right after they hit or miss. The bracer never runs out of daggers. So
so you just have
that's so
infinite daggers.
good.
yeah, so you managed to find it, because I noticed what you were doing was you were
pretty
throwing your dagger, and then we would always forget to pick up your daggers. And rather
We
than
didn't
just
forget. I'd always say at the end, like,
I pick up my
technically
daggers.
run
I
around
pick
and
up
my
yeah.
daggers. and it's a
Yeah.
bit
So
like-
I figured, like, yeah, there you go. This will make your life a little
you.
easier.
It's a very easy sentence to miss
Yeah,
when you say it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, particularly, you can get lost when you have 6 to 8 players. So, at this point, the lizard folk kind of finishes his drink. The small chat is kind of awkward. It's kind of like a, so, okay, what do you do around here? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like you're trying to find those common points. he quickly finishes his drink. I'll show you to Sanguine now. Come with me.
Cool. I
You,
hop up. My drink hasn't been touched at all because I saw everyone else's reaction to it and just went, nah.
Can I pass his drink to Chris Kyle?
absolutely.
I
If you-
immediately reach for it.
If you allow it, of course, Harley.
I don't even notice it because I wasn't going to drink it.
Yeah, okay.
Is
By-
there any
I've
chance that
got
you have a
-1 in my
spell?
constitution. There's no way I'm touching alcohol.
Begs the question, do you have a... Oh, this is actually in character, sorry. Is there any chance that you have a spell that can multiply these out of curiosity? This is to Zarafa.
Not at the moment. I might look into it later. Multiplying foods just seems like might become a good idea sometime.
But I'll have to charge you.
I don't say that out
You can-
loud.
No, like I can just imagine you'd be like, this is actually a good way of making some decent money.
No, I imagine that Timora is thinking that.
I finished the drink that Timora handed me, and I just go, cool, just asking for a friend. That's all.
Yeah,
I'd like
a
to
friend,
meet this
sure.
friend of yours.
You kind of
so
walk.
we gonna go check out this thing?
Actually, you know what?
Jay.
You're closest to this northern door, so you actually walk out through that and open up, and you realize that it just leads to more corridors. He kind of takes you to the left, like without question. He doesn't even look to the down the other like corridors. He just immediately takes you, to the left corridor, and begins to walk down that, that way. And it's pretty.
He doesn't look down it, but we definitely do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if anyone wants to, you can by all means have a look.
Yeah.
Give me a sec.
Yeah, I'd probably check it out, just out of interest. Oh,
Yeah, I'm looking and listening for sounds.
I'm
So,
Jack Sparrow walking.
I'll run through this
Dun, 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 dun,
pretty
dun, dun, dun,
pretty
dun.
quickly.
Correct.
As you walk straight down, you notice a corridor that kind of opens up a little bit, and you hear a little bit of noise. Again, that same kind of sharpening and yelping that came further south. But you also
Does
see
any of the
a
yelping
door.
sound like a triton by any chance?
No. Those.
For science.
God, I wish. Maybe I should. Maybe I should.
I mean,
You're the DM.
I already had separate plans, but okay.
You stick to your separate plans.
Yeah. You kind of hear like a little bit of noise, actually, like echoing, very faintly though. But it's a faint echo that kind of it like gets lost in translation as it bounces off of the stone walls. But you basically
Is
find.
that the music that sounds like a dog panting?
Oh no, sorry, that's me. I've got some scratchies I found. Sorry, I'll
Next
I'll
thing
hide my
Josh
news.
disconnects. I'm a millionaire. For you, Josh.
I've found like 10 of them, and I'm so far I'm like $20 up. So alright, not too bad.
Okay, if
I
you
think they're
become
all-
a millionaire,
I'm taking you
anything you
guys all to
scratch-
Disneyland.
yeah.
Oh, I'm happy with that.
No. Universal Studios in Japan, because this year they're releasing Nintendo.
Oh yeah, Nintendo World. Yes, done.
Alright.
Done.
That's
You got it. I'll mic my mute unless I'm talking. Sorry.
No, you're all good. You're all good. So basically, yeah, you just like you can tell from this place, like it's a very long, windy set of just various caverns and various tunnels and corridors.
At this point, I want to grab out my spell book and turn to a back sheet and just try to sketch a rough map of this place. Just a very rough map.
Yeah. The map, if you zoom out, what you have so far, what you can see so far is basically what you can roughly sketch out. You're like, oh, there's a corridor there. Obviously, there's going to be one or two corridors that you completely forgot about and missed.
Yeah.
But yeah, just little bits here and there, and you go, oh, that's right, that was there. And oh, this connects around. And you actually notice that you are back where you started. One of the hallways to the left.
I'm still
you
touching
can-
all the stones on the wall.
Oh yeah, one of the
course you-
hallways to the left, you can actually get a glimpse of the big doors that you saw earlier. So you know that you've kind
So
of
I know this loops around, yeah.
kind of loops around. You
The reason I'm
again,
making a map is it's very easy to get disoriented underground.
yes,
Yeah, good idea.
very good idea. You kind of come to a actually, I'm curious. Ooh. Yes, that's 100% what's happening. Okay. You
That's
again.
not a good sound when the DM makes that.
Sorry,
worried.
it's actually nothing to be scared of. It might help. It might make you very, very thankful.
Yes, they've set the traps.
Yes.
It's a squirrel. No, it's
Again,
what was
as
the thing that
you-
killed?
As you like, walk down the hallway, you're met with that same acidic aroma of cooking meat, and you hear the chattering and muffled clanging, like coming down further from the hallway, but this time towards your right, obviously. And
Does
the
it
lizard.
smell like fish?
It smells. Wouldn't you
It
like
probably
to know?
is the smell of fish because we're on a coast.
It's not. No, it's not like. It's not like seafood smell, but it's not beef. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very weird aroma. As much as I wish it were fish.
It was worth enough.
All I'm thinking is Dragon Age Origins nugs, just giant rabbits.
Did you ever find the Nug King?
No, there is a thing of that.
It's really rare, but yeah, you can find the Nug King. It's pretty funny.
Which one's
love
that
it.
in?
I think it's in 1 or 2. 1, I think.
I think it'd be in 2
I'm
because I put like 200 hours into 1.
I catch a whiff of. I catch a. Oh, sorry. On you go.
I'll just say, can I have a slight conversation with Betty and just say, how are you doing, my dear?
You are really quiet, man.
I was about to say, I
Sorry,
don't
ha-
know if that was who was that at.
How are you doing, my dear Betty?
I'm okay. I've still got a mangled hand, but I'm going all right. How about
Ooh.
you?
Mangled hand, you say? Can I use my own hands?
This whole time I've been
Yeah.
walking around.
You like she literally watched
Hand.
you heal the lizard folk over her, and she's like, "You fucking asshole."
Oh,
See, the thing is, we can't see each other's health bars.
Right.
how many points will it take to heal the hand?
10.
10?
Yeah.
I've only got a pool of 9 left, so I'll use my 9. I'll use my 9 to heal up your hand.
Thank you.
Perfect. You should see your picture up on your screen at the moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. That goes hand in hand with this room. As basically the lizard folk obviously
Oh my
opens
god,
up.
that is a nug.
Uh,
There's actually a nug on the rack. Awesome. does
he
look like a-
opens
looks
up
like a
and
pig, but
that
it's not.
smell is it opens up and that smell is a lot stronger. Warm air wafts like gently through the doorway as it's opened up. Like you can tell it's physically warmer in here. At one end of the room is a large fire pit in which like a bed of coals is burning. Over it are multiple half-cooked skinned animal carcasses impaled on spits that are being turned by 4 unarmed lizard folk. A 5th worker bastes the carcass with a liquid spooned from like a wooden bucket to the side of the
Question.
fire.
How dirty are the people preparing the food?
Not dirt. Like, it's not going to be. It's going to be about as hygienic as you'd expect a lizard folk to be. Like, not eating with shit covered hands, but like they've clearly got like dirt and little bits of like, you know what I mean, like earthenware on them in that sense.
Yeah, I immediately just start prestidigitationing each of the people as we're walking through.
Like the people.
The lizard folk, yeah. I'm just like, food preparation should be clean.
Ooh,
Zap.
are you trying to do that stealthily or?
Nope. I say it in Draconic. Food preparation should be clean. And I zap the first guy with prestidigitation.
The first one actually like, stop! You hear in Draconic, you're ruining the flavor.
I don't think we should.
Okay.
do
Oh, the
I'm not
seasoning is gone! Now I got to walk in the mud pits again! Fuck! And he kind of like storms out and walks out. Like he slams the door on the way out.
Are we able to?
I
control
turned
our
it
characters?
to Mal.
Yeah, you can
Mel.
control your characters, by the way.
Yeah, I turned to Mal and I just go, he's not being serious, is he?
We have very sophisticated taste buds here. We like our food
Immediately.
a certain way.
That's one way of putting it.
I immediately walk up to the lizard folk in front of Merrick and I go to smell his hands.
They're not like again. The lizard folk is kind of like moves his hands away a little bit, but you get a waft, and he kind of looks at you like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But from it, you don't like again. You don't smell anything like disgusting. You can just tell it's earthy. You know when like you're in an underground
Yeah.
car park and you just get that earthy smell. It's just
Yeah.
that's all it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels.
No seafood smell,
It
guys. It's all good.
smells and feels like kind of like a hangy pit, like you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
like when you're cooking fish,
pit.
Hungy.
sorry, like when you're cooking fish and
right,
all that
Nick.
sort of stuff, you know, like in the ground, so to speak, and you get all those that like you know, all those flavors. In the center of the room as well is like a long wooden table, which is shown in the picture. And it's kind of cluttered with like an assortment of knives, raw meats, and a bunch of splintered bones, like cracked, splintered bones. On the floor beneath the table, you also notice some uncured hides.
What?
You notice
I'm
like
determined that we're gonna see him at some point, like with an apple in his mouth, and he's been fried.
well, he's definitely got an apple in
Very
his mouth
suggestive.
now. Now that you mention it, definitely happening.
I don't-
I mean, I wouldn't eat it. I just figured the lizard people would.
I don't
Besides,
recall him saying to eat his ass.
Beside-
He
Bes-
wishes I would.
Anyway,
bro. True, but I
You know
think
what's nice that he's
What?
not hitting on me through D&D anymore. It's really nice not to have subliminal flirting and pickups in the middle of a D&D game.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Well,
one
I
thing
can
when it's in
fucking
character,
change
it's
that
another
if you
thing when
want,
it's-
Bonnie.
No.
Jesus.
The scale shield kind of like slightly leans towards you, giving you like you know how like their eyes go to the side, they look sideways, so it's just the one eye looking at you, and then like when you look over, it's like, and like it like moves straight in front of him, and he pretends he wasn't watching you at all.
You know
I
how
note that
crocodiles'
later
eyes?
Because I want to use
They kind of like blink sideways.
find some-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's terrifying.
Is it like the worst lizard wink ever?
You can't tell if he's blinking or winking, so I'm gonna say yes.
like Mike Wazowski.
Yeah. Mike Bazowski. On the floor beneath the table, actually, interestingly enough, you see a whole bunch of uncured hides, and beside the table are two large wooden buckets. Because you're all fairly smart, you imagine the hides to be from the animal that they're cooking at the moment. So, against the south wall rests a large wooden cabinet. Its shelves are kind of piled high with clay pots, bowls, basins, drinking mugs. Same thing that you saw in the other room, but like obviously they're fully stocked. Against the south wall rests a large wooden cabinet. Against the east wall is an open wooden cask containing a white crystalline substance and 3 wooden buckets. Obviously, there's a large cauldron, large cauldrons, and like pans and that sort of stuff, like general cooking equipment, kind of suspended over the fire pit that you would imagine would be used at some point to cook various kinds of meals. You have a look at the carcass on the fire, and the carcass belongs to. Actually, who wants to roll an investigation or nature check to find out what the carcass is?
I'd be
Yeah, I got
interested.
+2.
Entirely up to you guys.
Not me.
No, not me.
Okay.
Wasn't Chris Carl good at nature last night?
+3 for investigation.
Yeah.
Double roll
Yeah,
on.
you
How
can
is that
choose
double roll?
I am
whichever
rolling
one.
terribly tonight.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Wow. Ooh, we're all rolling terribly
You were
tonight.
saying, yeah.
I got a 12 on my first roll because I don't remember how to turn double roll off.
I can't quite remember at this point either. I'd have to look at it, but I'll just take the top one. Oh damn! Everyone's rolling terribly. It's of some form of humanoid creature. Like you can as I said, you can kind of tell the hides are from that same creature. And the buckets next to it.
Owen
yeah.
finally made a roll.
Oh, was that you,
Someone finally
Owen?
made a roll. It was Owen.
That was me.
-1.
Okay. You actually, out of everyone else, everyone can see the creature and the hides. But you actually like have a look over the buckets, and you just see guts and organs kind of piled into the buckets next to the creature. Just all of its like
Guys.
entrails.
It's just guts and organs. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Don't worry, it's just guts and organs.
What sort of guts and organs?
Not of our kind. Don't worry.
You notice like on the hides, like rooms for gills, on like the face, and the hide kind of looks more like the marrow that you fought on your way here, than it does like, you know what I mean, anything else. It kind of, there's a slight resemblance to the marrow that you fought.
Well,
on
I
the way here.
outright
Were
asked.
those
So
sea creatures that we battled on the boat? Is that what you're talking
Yes.
about?
Yeah, I'll
Or-
show you.
Yeah, the one that dropped the bag that Alex
Yeah.
picked up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's an image.
I just relay that information to them so they know
Yeah.
what's in there.
So yeah, I asked what the
Trails.
carcass is.
Just try
one.
that, because I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but
Yeah.
Fuck, did they eat Alex's little animal thing?
Didn't he completely forget about that and it just got ignored in place of that other lizard? So I'm assuming
Yep.
that thing got left behind on the boat.
Yeah.
I think it did, yeah. And he asked me for
Yep.
that too. He was like, "Can I have this?" And I was like, "Sure."
Make sure
Okay.
you treat it well.
Next minute.
Unlike the
was just
the
gonna
sorry.
Answer Harley's question.
You know, I asked the lizard chefs. So what is that?
Oh. Sorry.
The lizard chefs.
Yeah.
You ask them.
I asked
Sorry,
in
the
Draconic so they can
carcass,
understand.
like the
Yeah.
carcass and stuff. It is enemy. Sanguine. Tasty. Very tasty.
Also, they're the sanguine.
They're sanguine.
Okay, yeah, we've killed them.
The main difference. Say Huagin, I think it was. Say Huagin. Say Huagin, sorry, is the difference. The main difference you see from what you fought and what is currently there is that this one is bipedal. You can see 2 legs and then, 2 arms and a chest and a
A more
head.
evolved form.
Whereas the ones that you fought had like kind of like a mermaid's tail, but it has a very similarly shaped head and arms, like upper body.
Is it like a similar difference to like the people and their queen? Like the ones we fought are probably like commoners
Peasants.
in comparison. Yeah.
Compare those two. Compare those 2 images,
Okay.
and I hope I continue.
Ah, yep.
It's a goddamn murloc.
I'm confused. Whereabouts are these images appear?
They're just in the chat, in the
in the,
actual game chat.
The Roll20 chat.
Oh, there you go.
That
I'm paying
green one
attention.
is just gonna give me nightmares.
Whoa, what?
He's got a tentacle hanging out of his mouth.
Just his teeth and his blubber face.
I swear that's just a murloc right there.
The
And
green
I'm having
one.
horrible
There,
flashbacks.
it is your size. I will add, it is your size.
Okay.
Are they
like human size.
intelligent?
You don't know.
They
you haven't
appear
met
to be
one.
intelligent on the boat.
The Mero seem to be intelligent on the boat, but you don't know if the Sanghuagan were.
Well, I doubt
wild.
they wouldn't be they'd have to be intelligent if they're this enemy. Otherwise, they're just animals that you take out.
Mm. Oh shit!
That's what I
I just accidentally closed roll 20.
Good one.
Oh no. Alright, game over.
GG, everyone.
Okay.
So who's brave enough? This is actually in character, but who's brave enough to actually try some of the sanguine?
Oh, I've seen their preparation techniques. I'm out.
I have -1 constitution, so I ain't touching it.
You and me in the
Surely-
same boat. We're just
surely.
like, no.
I look over to Chris Carver. I'll try some if you try some. What do you say?
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. I'm glad no one of us is actually on.
Willing to diverge.
That's it. Is on the on the sanguine hype train as well.
So did the music stop for everyone as well?
No.
Nope.
No,
Nope,
it's still
music's
playing.
still
Okay,
going, it's
so
still
I just got
going.
to load back in. Okay, cool. Just double checking that the recording's fine as well. Oh yeah, it looks like it is. Cool. The scale shield actually turns to you, Alex. And is like, this is for dinner tonight. You will all try, provided you stay. Here.
Where else are we going?
I immediately turned to Zarafa with a smirk.
I'm not going to enjoy that.
It is disrespectful to deny the food of the people.
Okay, I'm gonna start thinking about sneaky ways that I can make myself dinner. And...
Sneaky ways of getting yourself dinner.
No, not being at dinner.
Oh, okay. Alright, you're kind of like, so I might have to ghost you on
I'm
that
gonna
one.
have to go hide in a bush
my
for the
old
next
dear.
few hours.
I don't know invisibility, damn it.
I just
You
mouthed to
know
Zarafa
100%. If you go and hide in that bush again, you're gonna encounter that lizard folk that just got cleaned as he's trying to muck himself back up again. Throwing a little like child tanty, but in the mud pits as he's trying to like make himself earthen again. The equivalent of like a teenage spraying half a can of Axe on his body to attract the local females.
Oh, I'm having flashbacks to year 8. Oh.
I'm also imagining that he'd probably be naked while doing that. You
Give
could
me
find
that.
out if you'd survive seducing him.
Yeah, I suppose
Give me
you'll
that.
find out how that works if you wait around a while.
That
Okay.
Lynx Africa Dark Temptation smell. Grade 8 coming at you. Eat your heart out.
Oh, hells yeah.
The
Or
old
it was
spice.
either Lynx Africa or it was that Hello Kitty bubblegum from the chicks.
It was always Lynx Africa in my schools.
Yeah, Lynx Africa was the way to go.
Lynx Africa or Dark Temptation for us.
Yeah, with chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate.
The
all smell the
lizard
same
folk, so the scale shield kind of is like, all right, come on, we can't stay here for too long. It kind of like ushers you kind of out of the kitchen. He kind of like you get the impression he was only trying to show you like that it's
What the
a yummy
sanguine are.
meal. Yeah, that it's a yummy meal. And you kind of he is walking you back towards the banquet hall, and you see him stop, and I presume like the rest of you would all stop, kind of waiting for him. He turns around and you notice a
Where is he now? Because I haven't moved out of the kitchen.
Sorry, here. There you go. So he's kind of stopped in the middle of the hallway. He turns around, and you can almost see like a light bulb
Bless
go
you.
off. Like I'm a fucking genius. And he's like, quick, this way, please follow me. And
Okay,
he
we're
kind of-
continuing the tour.
He kind of continues like down the hallway again. Actually, as you pass this hallway here, you notice kind of a barracks area. A lot of again similar yelping, like a sound off, and a lot of the metal things. At a quick glance, you notice they're sharpening swords.
Do we know what the yelping is yet?
That's draconic.
It's draconic, and it's like a form of numbers, like different. Like in draconic, if you say 1, it's like a yow, yow.
So they're like performing katas sort of thing?
Kind of like a sound off, like hey, you're ready
Okay.
to go, you're good to go.
1, 2, shine my shoe.
Yeah, it'll be like sound off 1, 2, 3, 4, but they're like different like kinds of yelps instead of the 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
So that's the equivalent of I don't know what I've been told.
Yeah,
That the military.
I
do.
don't know what I've been told. So you kind of continue down, and you actually pass at this point the banquet table. The door is still open, and you go even further. To skip the boring parts, to say like kind of again more and more corridors, you find there's a bunch of different obviously pathways, most of them blocked off by doors at this point. Then you eventually, interestingly enough, come to a solid wooden gate. Wait,
that's wood. I
Hold
thought
on.
that was floor spikes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. My thing's going all over the shop. The wooden gate itself is like completely shut at this point. Give me a sec. I just gotta find the actual. And from the looks of things, like a brief investigation, which you will pass because of your passive investigation and perception, you notice that it's actually hinged at the walls, and it's got a center lock on it. It does look like pretty sturdy, but you could imagine with enough force it would break down. As you kind of view past the wooden gate, though, you kind of see like a flight of steep stairs that lead downwards. Sorry, I just had to grab some water. I'm not finished yet. Give me a sec. My throat's just needing more hydration.
So how long are we going to tonight?
Probably till 9. I'm about to break it. Go for a 5-minute break here, but just finishing up this little thing in the bob. The scale shield actually knocks on the wooden gate, and a few minutes pass. Probably like 20 seconds. Closer to 20 seconds than a minute, sorry. Before 2 guards approach the gate, and they begin to talk in Draconic. Again, Harley, Owen, and who else speaks Draconic? Who was it, sorry?
Me, Chris Cole.
Chris Kyle. Ah, right. Sorry.
Right, yeah.
You all overhear the conversation, and it essentially is, oh, what are you planning on doing here? And the lizard folk responds. Your tour guide at this point responds by just saying, "Hey, it's just I'm just giving a tour of the place for the guests. I'm trying to see if they know anything about the Sanguine." I'm not going to do the voice until I get the rest of my water, just because it does hurt my throat a little bit. And they do the usual nodding heads. All right, cool. Yeah, come in. He unlocks the gate, and the rest of the guards watch as the scale shield leads you down the flights of stairs. Just quickly add the other two. Give me 1 second.
We've gone to the darkness, boys.
Just
That was
revealing
kind of
those
creepy,
areas.
dude. Well done.
I'll be honest.
I
that
have
hasn't
no
been
idea
much
what that was a quote from, but that was definitely a quote because I remember it vividly.
Sorry, I'm just moving new characters so that they're all upright because that annoys me otherwise. But they're slightly askew.
We're not anal.
Including the 2 lizard folk that followed you from the flight of stairs that you took, there are 4 guards on duty here at the moment. There's an iron-bound wooden door that stands in the southwest corner of this area, and a rough wooden bench sits next to it, kind of against the southern wall. From the looks of things, you kind of look around, and there really isn't any valuables here by any regard. However, you do notice one of the guards on duty has similar facial features and like bone structure as the scale shield that is giving you a tour, and you immediately sense not like a rivalry, but kind of like a sizing up to see, you know, who's more alpha, and that's, you know what I mean? Like when you kind of meet someone new, you kind of go, could I take this person if things went, sorry, as Alex puts it, bow howdy. You know, kind of sizing up and seeing if you could take it. Sorry, I'm ruthless at this point. I ain't gonna stop for a joke. There we go.
So wait, are they sizing each other up?
Yeah, they're not so much like for a fight, but they're just kind of like trying to see where they are on the hierarchy, if that makes sense. Who's
So two buff
who's bigger
dudes
than the
walking
other?
to each other. They both flex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're both flexing and
Chest-
kind of like
chest
showing
out.
strength. Yeah, chest out, kind of, hey, how you doing, kind of thing.
The nod down.
Does he wink at me?
No.
And then try and pass me a golden rose in a manner?
No. Sorry, that's for later.
What?
Rip. He. I love it. I'm sorry. I can't. This is so good. I just sometimes I enjoy this. This is good. Okay.
You're doing good.
Therapeutic.
Yes.
Therapeutic. Okay. The iron, the wooden iron gate that was blocking your way again quickly opened by the staff, the guards there, after a quick discussion of what's going on. And you notice a short flight of steep, rough steps kind of leads down a narrow east-west passage that ends in like a blank wall, about 60 feet away in total. I'm about to reveal that area to you.
Can I just say that as a character, I'm not liking this situation a lot, and I'm starting to get really sus about how
Because
people
you're
are
just going from
and all
one
the
place.
guards, and like, yeah, we just keep going through one guarded door and the next guarded door, and like, it's a little sus. I'm getting a little bit like, I'm uncomfortable.
Good.
Like almost like a cage. Like you feel like you're getting further and further into like a cage.
She is a pirate. It's like she's meant to be out on the open sea, and now she's deep underground.
I don't know, it just
I'm
feels
actually.
like I'm being led into like some trap dungeon.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna
Good.
say.
Try and reassure.
I was gonna say I'm actually really happy that you feel that way, because I'm only gonna be describing the scenery. Obviously, your character's gonna feel something completely different to what I might think you feel. You know what I mean? Like I can see everything on the page, but obviously, go with what you think your character would do. Obviously, this is sketchy. You're just going from one place to the other. You're getting led further down the rabbit hole. But on one perspective, you're getting a tour guide. So you know what I mean? You got to decide what what you think your character would do in that
My
sense.
character is definitely interested because he was sent here to gather information, and this is definitely giving him information.
Well, I'm not backing out. I'm just not.
No, but like that slight,
I've probably got like a hand on my hip, you know. I'm just kind of like
just
my dad
that
used to play."
slight
Yep,
form
okay.
of like not anxiety, but just feeling on edge. Like, hold on, I don't know
Yeah.
where the fuck I am. Like, I could be in enemy territory right now and I wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
So on and so forth.
My mum always told me not to get in the car with strangers.
Except now we get food
Not
delivered
to
to us
get
by
into a
street.
I got candy from strangers, and it was great. I have no trauma at all.
You actually
I-
notice. I was gonna say.
Yeah,
To
sorry.
your right, as you go down these steps and this hallway, you notice 5 iron-bound doors, all closed. The doors have like no exterior features except for a keyhole midway up on the left side of each. It essentially, from this, you can tell that these are prison doors.
Do they have any windows?
No.
So, which one's our
There's-
fishman behind?
As you walk down, there's like, oh, sorry, I see what you mean. There's no windows inside. There's a little gap with some bars so that you can see in. And as you go down, I'm going to reveal up to here, and I'm just going to move your characters for you so that you kind of know where you are. As you move down the hallway, you notice like a lizard folk in there. And you know what I mean? There's like a slight hiss from the scale shield, like as like a disrespect thing, like you've done wrong.
Is this your
the-
bathroom? Scale one. My Merrick.
Not bathroom. It is what you call for bad people.
Where you put the shit,
Prison.
I guess.
It's a prison.
It's the break.
For fuckers like the one that hit the back of my head. At this point, you walk past the second last and notice on this particular cell, sorry, my throat. On this particular cell, it's basically like a 3 meter by 3 meter cell, but then half of it is covered in water.
Did you want to take a voice break at all, Nick?
I'm about to. There's one
Okay.
last thing that I'm about to show you.
Yeah, we just got to the good bit.
Just got to the good bit.
Sorry.
As you peer through, you notice Koi, unconscious, lying against the wall, body slumps in the corner, with his weapons and equipment stripped from him. He's basically in bare clothes, and he's kind of like half submerged in the water. At this point, you notice a full living. In the next cell over, you notice a similar cell to that of Koi's, but where you would expect to see floor, there's instead a watery surface, and halfway across the room, a metal grill extends across the space. Though the water isn't clear, you can see like a shape swimming around below the surface, just beyond the grill, and above the water, like anywhere above the water, it's completely bare. But yeah, as I said, like the cell is divided into those two parts: a shallow area and a deep area, kind of separated by that metallic grill. Here you see a very familiar figure, that of a Sehuagin, or Sahuagin, Sehuagin, however you pronounce it. It kind of peeks its head up,
Ominous movie.
gives you you see like the glowing yellow eyes, as it stands slightly in the light of the hallway that you're currently standing in, and in common, you hear it say, "Please help me. These lizard folk have captured my poor old Triton like me. They're planning on cooking and eating me, and now I have done
Called it.
with my brethren. They're
Are
eating.
you trying to call yourself a Triton?
They're trying to eat us. I am. Yes. Triton. I'm Triton. I am from the sea.
There's a Triton in the next cell. We were traveling with him. We know what Tritons look like. You're not it.
At this point, like, because you're like kind of communicating between the two, the lizard folk pushes you aside, bangs like very heavily on the cell door, hisses, and like has his like a small dagger and is like, you know what I mean, like almost ready to thrust
Like,
it towards the door.
Shut up and stop talking.
Yeah, not to you, but to the Sehuagin.
No,
He's
no,
just
no.
moved.
Yeah.
He's just moved. Moved you guys away from the conversation. Is like basically, yeah, shut up. Like I can understand what you're saying. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Apologies. Do not believe him. This is the Sahuagin. The Scale Shield says, as you know, your friend is a Triton, and these look nothing alike. The Sahuagin are very deceptive, very evil. They want nothing but to kill and conquer, hence why they conquered our lands. Go. From here you are free. I must deal with this one. Feel free to join me back at the hall once you are ready. He kind of gives you a nod and kind of like, you know what I mean? Like just ushers his hands like, go. Come on, get out of here. And we'll leave it there for a break.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So about 5 minutes is the idea.
5 minutes, because I'm going to go grab some water and stuff. And I'll see you guys soon.
I might be a bit longer. I'm just going to duck down to the shops and get something to drink.
Alright, we'll meet back at 8:10.
Yep. Okay.
Alright,
Thank
see you
you.
then.
No worries. Catch you in a bit.
Sweet.
Okay, and we're back. So I'm gonna have to repeat what I just said because the mics were muted, just for the
Is this from the recording?
Yeah, because I forgot to mute them, unmute the mics from the recording. Essentially, you wait a few hours. You go back to the banquet hall, and there was a few hours of waiting while you wait for your lizard folk scale shield friend Merrick to get back. In the meantime, you said, Zaratha, that you were exploring the area, and that's why I'm revealing these corridors for you. However, you did say you didn't want to open up any doors. You only wanted to, or kind of explore the corridors surrounding.
I don't want to push my luck with exploring, but I do want to get a general layout of the area.
General light here. Cool.
So I think we need to do something to get the Queen's favor if we do want to get Koi out of here.
Oh, I was basically just going to say, look, he assaulted one of your people. That's a crime where we're from, so he needs to go face trial. Extradition.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, Tomorrow, you're up. You got to do your thing.
What have I got to do?
Just to try and seduce the Queen.
I like it. Just calling out compliments to her across this massive table.
That's it.
Your eyes look particularly beautiful tonight, my Queen.
If you don't do that, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Gotta use that charm.
Look at the Irish.
Why is that not a perk? I feel like that should be a feat.
There is luck. The halfling luck
there is
feat.
lucky, but
Halfling lucky,
you should have an extra feat called Luck of the Irish. In
Well,
which,
I
if you're not
suppose-
drunk, things go horribly wrong for you.
I can get behind something like that. I can get behind a lot of things, but that's one thing I can get behind.
The place is actually pretty expansive,
Yeah.
Very.
You've done
that is
well.
one thing.
because all of these doors could lead to other chambers and other passages.
All right. There we go. That's about as much as you could get. I'm really interested to see how it looks from your perspective. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah,
It does actually look really cool. It's like a spaghetti nest.
yeah, kind of like an
Just
ant's
a
nest
few rooms
actually. It
revealed.
reminds me of an ant's nest.
Yeah.
I'll send you a print screen, Nick.
That'd be cool. Okay. All right. So yeah, you kind of explore and you just give a rough jot, which is obviously the map that you see. And that's taking you about 2 hours, and you've actually only just arrived back at the banquet hall and begun to sit down. As I said, there's little like pre-service bits of food, bit of catering, that sort of thing, just to keep their current guests occupied. But overall, no food has come yet. However, at one point you see the bottom doors here begin to open wide, and various soldiers, high-ranking, from what you can tell, begin to kind of march their way along in the table, sit down, and then a few scale shields also begin to make their way along and sit down. Thereafter, you notice a finely dressed lizard folk with bright colors kind of surrounding his, like around his eyes. I don't know if you can see it. It's this guy here on the tab that kind of go all the way down his back. And then obviously you also see the Queen who you've met approach. It is about lunchtime, I would say, at this point. So it's a day feast. Not long after, you see the hulking lizard of lizard folk render approach the table, walk through the doors, and mind itself in the corner, kind of standing guard closest to the Queen. It is a fair ways away. It's a very large banquet hall. To get you an idea, every square here is 1.5 meters. So the Queen kind of has to shout when she says this. But you do hear, as everyone's settled down, the rest of the lizard folk kind of gaze towards you, and the Queen begins to speak. I am glad that you have joined us. It is not often that we deal with outsiders such as yourself. I see that you have made yourself welcome to our lair, our home. What are your thoughts so far?
It's very nice.
Very, very homely.
I'm
Cheers
impressed with
to
how
our
much you've
glorious
managed to
queen.
carve out in just a few months.
How long have you been here for? Indraconic?
Indraconic. Indraconic.
Technologic.
Indraconic, you speak out. And say, you know, how long have you been here? She kind of hums and pauses. Far too long. Far too long. I'm sure that you are aware of our current situation. Have you been
Perhaps,
made aware?
Perhaps
I
there's
just-
a way we could help you, my queen.
I stare to Zaratha. Zaratha just being like, do you know the situation?
Yeah, the.
What's the
things that
situation, man? What the fuck?
Too drunk to notice. The things that attacked our ship, enemies of these people.
They're not exactly the same thing.
I know they're not the same thing, but they're very, very similar.
Yes, yeah.
But their situation as to in why
It's-
they're in this cave.
The best way to describe it, it's like calling a lizard folk a lizard. They're not a
Right.
lizard, right? The Mero were far more primitive, intelligent, but far more primitive. They couldn't speak common or anything like that, but the Sahuagin, you have noticed to speak
All right, well,
common.
I phrase it this way: the guy that was in the cell that was trying to pass himself as a Triton, they're the enemies of these people, and they kicked him out of their old home.
Did he mention that it was in the sky? Or did I dream that in character?
You may have been drunk.
That sounds about right.
The queen kind of hums and haws. Ideally, it would be best if you were able to conquer back our home from the Sahuagin. But there are just far too many. They completely slaughtered our people, and this is hence why we feast, to remember them. However, there are other things that you could do to help around here, to gain the trust of the other lizard folk, and, of course, me.
I just turned to who's next to me? Is it Betty?
Yes, I think that's Betty.
Yeah, Betty.
Yeah. And I just say, is one of them eating koi?
Doesn't look like it yet.
At this point,
There's
like
no fish fingers, let's put it that way.
No,
I love it.
I just stare at Bruce.
Were you about to eat a
Stir
fellow comrade? I don't fucking know.
I do say to the queen, as loud as I can muster, the one thing I'm not clear on is where exactly was your old homeland? Your old home, your old city?
It was in the sea.
Ah, in the sea, that's why we're not 100% familiar of where it was.
To the east of here, there are many rock pools that lead to such a location. We initially found this cave as shallow as it was, a form of respite, a place to flee to. Of course.
Just to, oh, sorry, Nick.
Of course, myself and very few other lizard folk survived. Since then, we have grown in number, but there is still many more warriors to be made. You were saying, Bonnie?
Sorry. You took a break and I thought, oh, okay.
No, I was catching a breath, sorry.
Yeah, no, I realized that. I wanted to clarify if I've remembered this correctly, didn't we on the boat with the lizard people who were smuggling supplies? Didn't like they were smuggling weapons and stuff. So I thought we found a map that was like leading to Saltmarsh. Like they were. Wasn't this whole thing because we thought they were planning
the
an
map
attack?
led to here. That's how we knew what this place was.
So the map led to here. There was some dotted lines which were roughly in the location of Saltmarsh, but it wasn't at Saltmarsh. It was closer to the haunted house. Like, having observed the documents yourself, it was closer to the haunted house.
And that's where the smugglers had set up their base, so that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So
Okay,
you can
sorry.
take
Okay, I'm
you
with
can
you.
take from that what you will. What you do know as characters is that the lizard folk are arming themselves. They've been smuggling weapons to themselves, using smugglers to get weapons. But you don't know who they're trying to attack, if they're hostile to Saltmarsh. The Council of Saltmarsh employed you because they feared that an attack might be impending on them, because they knew some form of armament was occurring. They just didn't know what
Okay.
for. Hence why you're here, to find out
And so-
why they're arming themselves and what for.
Okay. And so now, whether we believe them or not, the
Yeah.
story is they're arming themselves to take on these fish
Sanguine.
people.
Say it's S-A.
Sanguine.
You know what? I'm going to type it out. The way that it's spelt. Say who again. Just don't look up the stats of that, please.
Okay.
Because I don't even know them. It's
Sahuagin.
Yeah, Sahuagin, I think it is.
Oh, sweet. I didn't even know that, and that's what I guessed it as.
Go.
Cool. I'm ready for this English test tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's Japanese, but yes.
Glorious Queen, perhaps you could regale us with a tale of your mighty battle.
I wish I could. It would have been honorable, but it was not a battle as much as it was a slaughter.
Yeah,
It is-
smooth.
Oops.
I actually say that to the character.
However,
Start looking into my cups.
there are many, many warriors who fought bravely in order to protect not just me, but my youngins as well. And
Then a toast to remember them.
Yeah.
The rest of the lizard folk kind of look around like, oh, what the fuck is this? They're like, oh, okay, toasting we are. They kind of like all like, I guess, put the cup in the air and like, and then they take a sip, and the even the queen is a bit like, oh, okay, thank you, I suppose. What is it? Jordan brought me nuggies.
Nuggies.
Jordan, where are my
Jordan.
nuggies?
Chim Chem Nuggies.
Jordan, you need to drive around and give us all nuggies.
Should
I don't know if
charge you
Jordan
though.
can hear us.
3 hours later.
I was
Like
gonna
a-
say you get a pass up here.
You'll be like sleeping, and you just hear a knock on your window. She just hands
Oh
the
my-
nuggies through the window.
That modern day fucking Romeo and Juliet just throwing chicken nuggets at the window.
Actually, Brighty's got a balcony, so that could work.
Bro.
You'd come in the next day, and there'd just be chicken nuggets all over the floor.
There's a ring in one of them.
You got to eat them all to find out.
The best
be back.
Kinder surprise.
Have you guys seen people who peel chicken nuggets?
Oh, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
disgusting!
Shot.
And
It's disgusting.
I've seen like someone posted a photo of like a pile of like the crumb skin stuff, and just like and made a comment about peeling nuggets, and I never heard of it before.
Oh,
It
so
sounds
bad. Did you get the 24 for $10?
She got KFC nuggies, so they didn't have a deal.
But
It
that's
wasn't
where you
even-
get the 24 for $10
Oh, she could have.
at
Dude.
KFC. Then you
Damn,
could have eaten nuggies for like 3 days.
it would have been good. She kind of after that confusing transaction, poor Sanchez is probably not going to hear this, but whilst there's not much you can do right now with the Sahuagin, there is another matter that you could be of assistance.
We will happily sacrifice our comrade. We understand
No.
that it is a hard ask,
No.
Your Majesty, but we are prepared.
I like how you. I love it. You're just so quick to. We'll sacrifice him. It's fine. Who's your god? We'll give his heart to him.
But we will do it in your honor. And then I sit down.
As part of scavenging hunts, many lizard folk go out hunting in the marshland, about 12 miles from here. There have been many lizard folk who have disappeared. Those who have come back report a rather giant crocodile causing issues within the land.
I
If-
mutter under my breath to the people next to me. Is that Cousin Bob?
Whilst you cannot help directly in the matter, I would be very grateful if you were to help us rid this creature from the land. The more lizard folk here, the better, obviously. The less that die, the better. I can send Merrick with you to help show you the way of the last report of where it was.
And then I make eye contact with Merrick and wink at him.
As do I.
So it begins.
You know how like
I'm a fucking wrestler.
you know how lizards like can stare in like 180 degrees? Like one eye is pointing fully left and one eye is pointing fully right. He had one eye fully right, and as soon as you wink at him, his eye just shoots forward. Like that kind of like, oh god.
Okay.
You asked for this, Bonnie. I'll have you know
For the good of the party. For the good of the party.
This just reminds me of like the medieval times where you used to sell off daughters to form alliances, except this time it's you make the rogue seduce the lizard folk so that they can have an alliance.
I'm the opposite of Alex. I will put myself on the line for the sake of the party.
I will just say it's not just yourself, but other nether regions that would be sacrificed.
I go to put my hand on Merrick's knee and say, "Is she winking at you or winking at me?"
He's kind of like,
God.
he kind of is like. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but like, you know when like you've got those 40-year-old mums and you're like just that right age where they're like, oh, you're so cute, and you just like kind of don't know what to do as they're like pinching your cheeks and like doing that weird like mum flirt that they do. That's how he's responding, like that 14-year-old kid just kind of staring off in the distance, smothered between two things that he clearly doesn't understand.
You're real nice, Mrs. Smith.
Thanks, Mrs. Smith.
So,
That's the best way I can describe it.
Are we gonna need to take some bait for this crocodile, or?
We could if we want
I
to. set
think
up some
you would
traps.
be the lizard folk scale shield. Sorry, I'll call him Merrick from now on. Turns to you. I think you are bait enough.
Hey,
Is that a compliment?
that was smooth. And then I wink at him again.
My man.
He kind of is like.
winking at you.
He's kind of like, oh shit, that's not what I meant to say. That came out. You know, you can kind of tell he's got his like his like 3 fingers are resting on his forehead. Like, did I just say something I wasn't meant to?
Oh, that's brilliant.
I'm laughing.
He's like accidentally flirting.
I say just mumble to myself. I am so glad I don't have a gender.
I just like sort of I look down the table and I'm like, Zelda, hey Zelda, I think you got a chance.
The really unsubtle, like big winks and hey, thumbs up that people.
Yeah.
It's like when you
Go
go
for
to
it.
a party. don't turn around, but there's a cute guy behind you, and then they like fully
Turn
do 180,
around, and they're like-
yeah.
And they
Or
put their
shove
thumb up.
you. They shove you
Yeah.
in their way. Oh, sorry.
I don't know if it's Fred or George, but when Fred or George asked that chick to the Yule Ball,
Yeah.
They're a package deal. It's one or the other.
that's it.
Hey, Nick, random question. What are we eating at this table at the moment?
The meal just come out. That's just come out. Like after the conversation, I should add, you were kind of the meal came out, and the rest of the lizard folk waited for the queen to start eating, and then it kind of down the line they started eating, and it's left to you guys. But you recognize it to be the carcass of the sahuagin, but it smells pleasantly good. It's just got that weird acidic tang to the nose, so it's kind of like. It's almost like when you eat really spicy steak in a way. Like you kind of don't know how to feel because it's supposed to be steak, but it's spicy. But in this case, it's obviously like a different form of meat, but it's got that acidic tang, like something you're not used to when you're eating those kinds of meat.
Like a bit gamey.
Yeah, a bit gamey, that sort of thing.
Close the nose,
still,
past
still
gums, look out
like
stomach, here it comes, and I just take a bite.
yeah.
Wait,
Roll
where
a
does it go?
Constitution.
Shit. Where's my Constitution saving throw? Right there.
Violently ill. Violently ill.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Now, the steak, the
I am
meat
rolling
isn't.
terribly tonight.
I know. The meat isn't actually that bad, but just something about eating the carcass of something that you've just seen kind of puts your stomach off, and you find yourself about to hurl. Like you feel yourself like. You know, like that weird stage where you're eating something that you don't want to eat, and it won't go
You
down.
can feel it coming back up.
And it
Can I
won't.
rush across and put my hand in front of his mouth?
You kind of notice he's struggling, but you don't know what's happening. He just kind of
Okay.
like head to the
I
side and is
immediately take a
really
drink to try and
concentrating.
wash it down.
Okay, yeah. I'll go another con save for now. Saving
I
con.
just I kind of under my breath. Keep it together, old mate. We've almost got him.
I mean, that's slightly
Oh, it's
better.
a bit better.
That's 10 that I
It
rolled.
kind of goes down, and then you wait a couple of seconds. You're like, oh, thank God. And it's like all like your mouth is bulging at the moment, and it's full of vomit. You can by all means do whatever you would like. Might be worth stepping outside. Taking a step outside.
I just pick up my drink and just try to very subtly
Oh,
put it in the
I
drink.
know what you mean. Oh, oh no.
I just realised I've been muted this whole fucking time. I'm such a lemon. Mind you, I've seen. I'm like full like going at it too. I've seen him throw up in his mouth. I've seen him chipmunk it, and I've been in his ear going, "You're gonna have to swallow it. You can't leave the room. The queen will think that you don't like the meal. You're gonna have to swallow it, man."
It didn't work. So yes, I just try to not to make a scene as I spit it into my drink.
At this point, you notice as you look up, all eyes are on you from the lizard folk, and then they start to cackle. They howl. They just start howling in laughter all the way down. One of the servants comes over, and it's at this point you notice that the meat is on everyone else's plate looks completely different to the one that's on your plate.
I hate you all.
The servant picks up the plate, chuckles, slaps you on the back, and then takes it away and brings you another plate of actual meat. What you just ate were the gills of the Sanghuagan.
I
Sahuagin.
took one for the team. I hate you all. Oh.
How's your guts?
That one has a bit of bite to it.
I noticed. Oh, that taste isn't going to go away anytime soon.
No. It's what comes after that's worse.
Oh no.
You feel like this very acidic taste in your mouth, almost burning in that sense. But the meat on your current plate, your new plate, is good. But the rest of the lizard folk are just howling and having a good time. Just absolutely checking
I
out.
smile. I'm a good sport. I take the joke. I get what just happened.
You're not Alex.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Why do I feel like this whole night the jokes are so good? they're just constant gut punches. That's so good. Holy fuck.
After this, you're more than welcome to take a rest. We'll give you some quarters. And in the morning, you can leave to hunt down this 1,000 tooth that we call him
Crocodile.
Crocodile.
If he actually, I sober up. I sit up for a second. If he actually has teeth, can I keep the teeth?
Do you speak that to the?
Yeah, I just say that out loud. If he has 1,000 teeth, can I keep the teeth?
Sure, you will need to bring proof, of course.
Cool.
How big is this 1,000 tooth anyway? It can't be that large.
Reports say that he is larger than any lizard that we have grown here.
But every creature has a weakness. Mine, for instance, is a well-cooked steak, and I start to get into the food.
I'm glad that you like the food.
My
How
weakness
cooks
is a
have
sexy
taken-
lizard man.
He's you can only see from his body. He's a very large lizard folk, so you can only imagine that he's packing quite well. And the thought kind of, it's kind of like a disgusting intrigue. You're like, I'm turned on by this, but I'm disgusted that I'm turned on by this.
Nobody Google lizard dogs.
Can I
Too late.
Too late.
Well, I've gone down that rabbit hole before.
Can I turn to Merrick?
Oh boy.
Can I turn to Merrick and say, hey Merrick, now's your time to slither in.
Oh, you win.
At this point, Merrick kind of
amazing.
looks at you, and kind of like across the table, like leans across the table.
Us lizard folk do not mate. The queen lays eggs and they hatch. We are merely hatchlings that eventually grow to this size. I do not fully understand what you're implying here. Whatever it is, I have never done this before. Any pointers?
Hold on for dear life.
He says he leant over to Bruce. He said this all in Draconic as well. Basically,
I reply in Draconic. Hold on for dear life and don't go there.
I hear and understand all of this and proceed to just like proceed to nearly pretend to throw up like Zarafa did into his cup.
roll a con save.
Oh,
So yeah, basically you learn that they don't procreate. The queen like literally lays eggs, and they I should say there's kind of like they don't like have sex.
didn't
The
roll that
queen
con
and other female lizard folk kind of lay eggs, and you know what I mean. Like it's not so
Yeah.
much a mating thing that goes on.
Like a queen bee situation.
Kind of, but like it's not just the queen that does it. It's kind of like it's hard to describe. Like the queen will hatch mainly. You don't exactly know this, but the queen will metagaming here will mainly hatch like your stronger ones, and then like depending on obviously the genes of what there is, particular lizard folk will be given the basically the okay to go and breed a particular type of lizard folk. So if they need more commoners, obviously a common female lizard would procreate and create more commoners, but if they needed more soldiers, it's mainly going to be up to the queen to create those, and you know, larger female lizard folk.
So the queen spends a lot of time having babies. Got it.
Laying eggs, occasionally, yeah. They do obviously take a few months to hatch and everything, but yeah.
No. I picture she's pooping them out left and right.
She's doing it while you're speaking. Bro, that's the side course, is the eggs.
Oh,
no,
I don't
I'm
want to
kidding.
touch it. I did my chores.
So yeah, so like
He's asked you how to have some fun here, Owen.
No.
We'll talk later. We'll talk later.
No, but you have to
You're
have
like,
that
meet me in my dorm. Later, we'll discuss what you got to do.
bees.
You're gonna have to
Bring snake oil.
Bring snake oil. The non-venomous kind, please.
No.
Yeah, just meet me later, alright? We'll go through all of it together. That's alright. I got you covered.
Doesn't sound like sexual innuendo at all.
I'm just looking at Bruce at this, and I'm just looking. I can't understand what's going on. I've got the body. I'm just like, what are you talking about? What's going on here?
Nothing, my love.
I
Nothing.
love it, Alex.
Just
I
a
love the
chick.
gif you just did. It's great.
Can you superimpose Bridie's head onto the girl and then Alex's head?
Fucking done.
He's already on it. Holy shit.
Oh, man.
Okay, so this is kind of where I'm gonna ask you guys. Obviously, it's about 9 o'clock. It's close to closing, like finishing time. From here, essentially, you'd go back to your dorms, do whatever, and the next day, I would imagine, obviously, you'd be getting prepared to go out. Obviously, that's an encounter, and that might take an hour. And given that it's 9 o'clock, did everyone want to finish now and leave it at kind of that conclusion, and then first thing in 2 weeks' time on our next session, we can continue on from there?
If everyone's okay with that, yeah, just because I've got these tests tomorrow. Now I'm gonna have to still drive over to Bridie's because I'm at my place.
I'm hogging my father's lounge room, so I should probably call it now. So, Aiden,
Which is fair.
And I don't
Stay
want
up.
Owen to miss out or feel like he has to stay up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. That's all right. All right. So, essentially,
Thank you very much, everyone.
that's all right. I was gonna say, like, it's not completely finished. I will just describe the last few moments, but essentially, you spend about the next hour eating. You know, just general conversation, small talk, trying to kind of understand the way of life kind of thing and fit in, like, you know what I mean? You're a bunch of outsiders, so you're just trying to fit in. And you eventually get escorted to a bunch of dorms, like some spare rooms, essentially, where you spend the night. Obviously, during this time, Merrick kind of comes over and to
And how does
Bruce's
that
dorm.
conversation go there, Owen?
So
birds and the bees.
Bruce.
I don't want to hear it. Please.
Are you there? Bruce.
Hey, sorry.
I'm sorry, I just got this mental image. All I can imagine is like, because Betty's in there with you, you're like, so this is how this works. And so, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a full demonstration.
No.
I feel that's all I could imagine.
As character and in real life, Betty wouldn't hear any of this because she's a deep sleeper.
Thanks for revealing that, Owen.
And so that means I can break into your place and steal stuff. Cool, thanks.
No, I don't sleep lightly. Deeply. What?
The only thing I'm stealing is Mirror. Not Mirror? Is it Mirror? Your cat? Yeah.
I thought you
Cats
said
are
mirror.
cute.
I was like, oh yeah, just go mirror. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, I just no, like if I'm like honestly, if I'm gonna steal anything and break into something like someone's place, I wouldn't even take anything of value. I'd just take something that's fucking annoying to have stolen. Like
Yes.
like you know what I mean? Like the garage, like I'd steal the garage clicker.
Yeah, that was evil.
And that's a good way to break up relationships, because that will cause a fight. Where'd you put the garage clicker? I don't know. Where'd you put it?
Pardon me.
Or I'd do something like I'd steal all the coat hangers.
I would have it clean in, and I would just move every furniture just like an inch out of place. Because you're just so used to your house, you'll go to walk somewhere and you'll just bump into the couch and you'll be like, huh? Why did I do that? But you'll do it for like the next week or two with like all your furniture.
And you won't realize. You won't realize.
Have we
Are
just
you
established you two are chaotic evil then?
Only when we're playing a rogue. Good thing I'm not a rogue.
For those at home as well, turns out lizards have two penises.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
I did actually know that.
An alternating pattern of hemipenis would allow a male a second chance to transfer a fresh batch of sperm if he has just mated recently. So he's got like that double barrel.
Oh, what have I done?
I'm actually getting up the.
I don't know if you want to finish that sentence, Nick, but you started with,
actually,
I'm
like-
actually getting it up.
I'm actually like figuring out exactly how lizard folk procreate because I'm gonna need this shit. Never in a million fucking years would I think. You know what I'm gonna need for this D&D session? To find out how lizard folk fuck. And yet here we are.
Surprisingly, we're doing all this without a bard.
Without exception, within the same species, all lizard folk are larger, heavier, blah 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 blah.
Wait, is there an actual guide to how lizards
Yeah,
procreate? Because that's
the neither
funny.
males are hunting, fighting
So I've like,
tribes.
meanwhile this is happening, like I've just got like this table set up with like paper and like drawings and stuff. It's just like, because I suck at drawings, right? It's just like stick figures.
Now I have
Stick
a
figure with a
pear,
tail.
2 strawberries and some spaghetti. Let me lay it out for you.
Pretty much.
That's
Just like
it.
collected some things from like the table that's like left over.
Some scraps.
See, look at this potato here.
The stick figure has like a tail.
The whole banana and rubber thing that they need to do in middle school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, where
So,
the fuck is Tom? Is Tom still part of the campaign?
Tom is still on the boat. He's minding the boat.
Right.
Real life, Tom is just trying to adjust to uni and work before he comes back in. So he's skipping. He told me, "Hey, I want to skip the chapter. I'm a little D&D'd out." So he's obviously skipped, but he has said that since Alex has left, he's more willing to come back to give things a new go. So I said
Cool.
that it wouldn't be this session, obviously, because him rocking up out of the blue would be really weird. But at the end of this chapter, which it won't be next session, but the session after, he should be joining us again. So,
Good.
so yeah. Now, something I did have to read up. Females, by necessity, are supposed to lay eggs and raise children, thus ensuring the continued survival of the race. Biologically, this necessitates certain physiological adjustments that may impede the females from combat, but in no way reduces their value to the race. In fact, their value actually increases in some ways because they can lay eggs. Lizard folks are accurately aware of this, and very few females live their lives without reproducing in some form of way. So basically, the females are either there to reproduce. They're your typical, primitive kind of culture. So
They're from Logan.
Yeah, the female is there purely to have kids and or raise the children. So the only exception to that, very few females lead. The only exception to that is the queen, surprisingly. So that is something only Drakdan would know, though. So meta knowledge, first player knowledge, obviously.
Yep.
Wait, why would my character know that?
Because you have the highest history check, so I'm giving it to you.
Oh, okay.
Yep. You've studied in all sorts of things. Oh, sorry. You and of course, you would have who is it? Chris Kyle would know because he's from the area. He's a hunter of the area. So, yeah. You two are the only two that would actually know this. Bruce doesn't actually have a clue.
I was about to say, he's asked Bruce.
He's asked Bruce, so...
I would have just refused to have that conversation. I'm like, nah, you're on your own.
You're on your own.
Zelda, you're in for an
I
interesting
don't do
time
sex.
here.
My reaction when I threw up into my cup, or simulated throwing up into my cup, was because I must have known.
Well, and it faked interesting time in D&D as a nothing in real life.
Alright.
Feels bad.
Rough. Okay.
Yay.
Before we finish off, I'm going to
Frozen.
ask Owen, what do you do? Because we got to sort this out. We can't leave this in the air. The people need to know.
And giving it back to you, the people.
The people. You need your Pringles cup around you, man.
Chuck on a bit. Oh,
Do you draw it in the sand or something? Like, how are you gonna do this, man? You didn't think this through.
Game plan.
Well, first, say like a romantic kind of poem to sort of get the vibes flowing.
What is a poem?
Sort of like,
You kind of like at this point you're like, oh fuck, this bloke's gonna need a lot of work.
sort of like you sort of you know say them like nicest, loveliest things you can to them, and you know it's so weird.
What about after? I thought she seems interested in me, and I don't know how to respond. I have not yet had a mate because I am so dedicated to my hunting.
Yes, well, I can tell you she's a lovely girl and deserves a great
Lizard.
hunter lizard to look after her.
Does she lay eggs?
Well, probably not the
I've
same way
heard
you're
that
thinking.
she's meant to lay eggs. Isn't that how it's meant to be done?
Well, yeah. Well, you see, look at this potato here, and you're like, see, you're like this and
Why am I looking at a potato? Is this the egg she lays? I am so confused. I'm hopeless at this.
He like runs out, kind of crying. He like slams the door. I'll never get her.
Poor Merrick.
He kind of like sulks out the front.
Buddy.
Do I see it run past? Because I would be.
You do.
chopping my head off at that.
You just see like the lizard, the Merrick just run past all of your dorms. Like a slight sob to him, but he's clearly trying to hold it together.
I poke my head into what is Bruce's dorm, and I just go, didn't go well, did it?
no. Hey, you want a capsicum?
Where the fuck did you get all these fruits? These fucking vegetables, bro. You just start pulling them out of nowhere. Like,
It's a friendly grocer up in that room.
I mean, you could have gone to the kitchen, but jeez, where the fuck did this shit come from?
It makes me question why you're just walking around with cucumbers and
cheeks
bananas.
Science.
For science,
You're a man of
course.
science. You're a man of science. You should understand.
That was so funny.
All right, we're gonna leave it there. I will. So to clarify, the next session should be on the 6th of March.
Yay!
Everyone's good with that date?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Online?
It will be online for the rest of the chapter. Yes. So.
Do you know if Tom might be able to join us, or?
I could potentially get him to join. The only thing is, obviously, he's got to be like willing to join, and the other thing is, realistically, the only way that he's going to be able to get off that ship is if someone goes back to tell him, "Hey, we're good here." Like,
I'm just thinking the Raven companion that Charlie has.
In whatever way you think would be best, you've got 2 weeks. Just think of a way that you might be able to bring Tom into the campaign.
If he's keen, that's all.
and then
I
if he's
just wanted
keen,
to
I
know.
can just
Yeah.
we can use that as an excuse.
Cool. Thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate the time spent together.
Yeah, it was awesome session.
It's funny that.
Yeah, thanks everyone. That was a really
worries.
good session, Nick. Thank you.
It was.
Yes,
I had a
thank
lot
you
of
very
fun.
much.
I'm going to leave this knife on the ground.
Oh my god.
By the way, Sanchez, I loved your pickup line.
All right, guys. Thank you, and
Thank you.
I'll see you
Cheers,
guys
Alex.
later in the week. All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye,